Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Ocean Cataclysm, Awakening SSS-level talent at the beginning. Chapter 91. Chu Feng, how are you? Is your situation safe? As soon as it was connected, there was Shuzan's urgent concern. Chu Feng smiled and said in a gentle tone. Teacher, I'm fine. That's good. That's good. Shuzan's voice seemed to be crying. She seemed to be enduring something, but she didn't hold back after all. I burst out crying. Several students in the class are gone. Shuzan said painfully. I contacted those with average talent first, and they all came back. 7 classmates' islands were destroyed. After the other classmates came back, I still don't know if the islands can stay. You'll be fine. Grass. Chu Feng forgot about this. Today is the 8th day of opening the island. If his talents are similar to those of 733, it is impossible for him to survive an attack by a strange bird. The one who runs fast is to give up the identity of the island owner directly and become an ordinary person from now on. Some stubborn ones may fight to the end, and finally die. Quote. Chu Feng felt extremely uncomfortable. It's not how kind he is, but the friendship he has had with these classmates for 3 years, except for a few that don't fit well, most of them are one after the other. So how could he not feel uncomfortable hearing such news? I don't even know how to contact their parents. They are still so young, they have just entered the sea, and... Shuzan cried bitterly. Chu Feng, is your situation really okay? If it's too dangerous, come back. Chu Feng said. I'm fine, don't worry about me. How is the school situation? Chaos. Chaos turned upside down. Shuzan said bluntly. Not only are there giant birds attacking in the sea, but there are also bases. This heavenly opportunity is aimed at everyone in the world. There are killings everywhere. Do you remember that teacher Liao in the 2nd grade? The one who taught you history in junior high school was killed. What? Chu Feng was shocked. Teacher Liao, he remembered. Later, when he transferred to No. 2 middle school, when he was in his 2nd year of high school, Mr. Liao specially brought a box of grapes grown on his island for him. There are dense crowds in the base, so there are many bloodthirsty birds and beasts. It's so cloudy, so if you're really safe there, don't come back. Grass. Only then did Chu Feng realize that the number of strange birds is divided according to the number of island owners, and it may even be 1-to-1. There are not too many in the endless sea. That is because the terrain is vast and the island owners do not gather. And in the base, there are more than 300 million permanent residents in the China civilization base. The resident population of S City is as high as 1 million. Teacher, where are you? Shuzan said. I hid in the school's number 2 chemistry room. There were several teachers and classmates with me. We are all safe. 5. The number 2 chemical room is airtight, and with several teachers, everyone is a practitioner, so it is safe. Chu Feng breathed a sigh of relief. Just at this moment, I heard a knock on the other end of the phone. Here, Shuzan was about to tell Chu Feng when he saw the headmaster and a few people in uniform break into the door. The bloody breath blowing from the head, and the clothes dripping with blood on those people's bodies, shocked everyone in the chemical room. Where did this come from? Have you contacted Chu Feng? However, the headmaster made such a sentence. Shuzan hurriedly nodded. I got in touch, I'm on the phone. There was a leading uniform who took Shuzan's mobile phone. Shuzan was still in a daze. She saw the 3 stars on this person's shoulders, scared. Big man. Chu Feng. Quote. Yes. Chu Feng frowned slightly. What about Shuzan? I'm Duan Sheng, S City's first battle. District. Chief. Commander. Greetings to you. According to China Civilization Base Bing. A special mission. When Chu Feng heard Duan Sheng's name, he probably knew what was going to happen. During this kind of extraordinary period, the other party came to the school in person to contact him with Shuzan's mobile phone, indicating that the matter was very urgent, to the extent that it was necessary to requisition him, the new island owner. Yes, China Civilization Base, all people are soldiers. Chu Feng stood on his island, holding a mobile phone in one hand and salute with the other. Okay, you heard it clearly. District 102. The coordinates are 983,877.61, 11,342.71. You have to rush to this location immediately to protect a person named Yi Zi. She has joined your association. and your mission is to do your best to protect her from entering the level 2 area, survive, and obtain a special item to bring back to the base. Confidentiality level. The highest. Let's go now. Protecting a person and taking her to survive in the copy of Tiandao Chance. Isn't it more appropriate to find other strong people for this kind of thing? Why specifically contact Chu Feng? Although Chu Feng had thousands of doubts in his heart, he did not hesitate. Yes, guaranteed to complete the mission. After hanging up with Duan Sheng, Chu Feng set the coordinate axis, and immediately expended the speed of light on the teleportation scroll to set off without the slightest hesitation, Because, this is the descendant of China. That kind of feeling for the country, that kind of faith, that kind of love, will never die. Fate of the nation, everyone is responsible. Chu Feng believed that if there were no more suitable candidates for this task, they would not have found a young and fledgling person like himself. It's just that the teleportation scroll on his body is far from enough. I used up a dozen or so on the run just now, and a dozen were opened in the treasure chest, plus there were only 35 scrolls left in my hand. Going to this coordinate in Area 102, without 200 teleportation scrolls, it is absolutely impossible to get there. That's all. Go to the market to change it, it's more expensive now, but it's important to complete the task. Chu Feng is the kind of perfectionist. As long as he promises something, he will try his best to achieve it. While teleporting, he opened the endless control panel with his mind, and was about to go to the trading market to change the scroll, but found that someone seemed to have given him a gift. Click to take a look. 300 teleportation scrolls. Messenger. Duan Sheng, hidden. As expected of the president, commander, he actually has a name hidden card. Although it is one level lower than Chu Feng's anonymous card. And it turns out that Duan Sheng contacted him very early, but his account has a lot of spam. It's mainly the hugs of various sisters, and there are some good-looking photos that are only suitable for viewing in the early morning or late at night, so he generally doesn't read news from strangers. Receive. Duan Sheng. She is extremely important to the future of the base. If you really can't bring back the items, be sure to let her come back alive. Suddenly, Duan Sheng sent this sentence again. Chu Feng suddenly sat upright, because he felt the profound meaning behind Duan Sheng's words. Okay, Chu Feng said solemnly. After getting the scroll, Chu Feng madly rushed towards that coordinate position. Area 102, if I remember correctly, it is also called Deep Sea Area. Although it is close to District 96, District 102 is an extremely dangerous area. Could it be that Yi Zi went here to complete the mission? And most likely, the mission failed. However, at this time, the specific situation was not taken into consideration. Chu Feng opened the association at 29, and after the phone call just now, there were more than 70 people in his association. He turned around in the list, and sure enough, he found a person named Yi Zi. Private chat with her. Are you safe now? There was no reply there. Chu Feng frowned, and then said, after seeing the message, I will be near you in about 5 minutes. Chu Feng soon came to Area 97 and kept teleporting like a flash. The excessive teleportation also brought him a lot of unbearable load. Chu Feng, who only consumed 50 scrolls, turned pale. During the teleportation, due to the distortion and compression of the space, it will cause a lot of burden to the spirit sea of the teleporter. It would be much better if Chu Feng still vacated the 9th level, but his cultivation base was compressed, leaving only the 1st level. This kind of suppression on the realm made it difficult for him to endure a large number of teleportation in a short period of time. When he reached Area 99, Chu Feng's head was about to explode with pain. Fortunately, Yi Zi sent him a message at this time. Yi Zi, ragdoll cat, you can still hold on, come quickly. The 7 short words, 1 support word and 1 quick word, allowed Chu Feng to read a lot of information. She's not doing well over there. Something might happen later. So Chu Feng pinched the teleportation scroll faster, completely ignoring the spirit sea that was about to explode. Soon, he finally arrived at Area 102, but he was still a little far from the coordinate axis where Yi Zi was located. As soon as you enter Area 102, the air here seems to be frighteningly dull. It is indeed the legendary, Deep Sea Area, which is different from the, semi-new area, of Area 96. Since nearly half of the area is used as a novice teleportation area, the environment of Area 96 is quite good. Except for ruins or restricted areas, there is little danger. And in the 102 area, there are deep-sea monsters everywhere. According to the information that Chufeng has learned, all the areas defined as the deep-sea area, the cultivation of deep-sea monsters can match the Lingyun realm of the human race. Lingyunjing is not bad. The monsters in the deep-sea area are mostly in the mountains and seas, and further up, the sun and the moon are relatively rare, but they exist. Even more terrifying. According to legend, there are also monsters in the deep-sea area that can match the invincible powerhouses of the human race. Although extremely rare, the evidence for this legend is solid. When a 100-person mountain and sea team entered the deep-sea area to explore, unfortunately they encountered an eternal beast. It is said that the team did not even have the opportunity to use the teleportation scroll, and the entire army was wiped out. 100 mountains and seas, and the leader of the team is the powerhouse of the 8th level of the sun and moon. Killed by a giant beast. In particular, it can be seen how invincible the eternal powerhouse is, and there is only one way to die. Almost there. In the end, with more than 10,000 meters left, Chufeng crushed the teleportation scrolls. This trip only cost 186 scrolls and earned 114. Well, now is not the time to think about that. The last flash, Chufeng finally arrived at the coordinate position. But when he got here, take a look. Chufeng, who already had a splitting headache, saw this terrifying scene, and everyone went numb. Come to whatever you want. Eternal behemoth. Grass. Kaiyuan, Qianjin, Wanxi, Soaring, Lingyun, Mountains and Seas, Sun and Moon, Eternity. The Eternal Realm has come to the peak of human cultivation, and Eternal has a nickname called Invincible. It means that the strong person who reaches this state can almost be called the existence of Invincible in the world, so it is called the Eternal Invincible Strong Person. Chufeng was shocked, but he was not afraid. Because although this place was caught in a life and death struggle, the sky and the earth changed color because of this, the seawater turned red because of this, and corpses and blood were flowing everywhere. But the eternal behemoth doesn't need him to do anything, because the hundreds of people who are fighting against the beast seem to be all in the sun and moon realm. There seems to be an eternal realm powerhouse among them. He is controlling the golden bell-like magic weapon and firmly shackles the eternal behemoth. A beam of magic light hit it, and its heart-piercing roar shook all the deep-sea monsters within tens of thousands of meters to death. If it wasn't for Chufeng's super defensive power of the super god golden armor, might be shocked to death by its roar. Chufeng. Moments after arriving, a young woman in uniform floated over his island. Chufeng nodded. Yes. Follow me. She is Yi Zi. Chufeng flew out to keep up. Unexpectedly, Yi Zi took him to fly directly to the eternal beast, and the other soldiers who were originally occupying their positions gave way. Specially set aside the abdomen of the shackled beast. Grass. After approaching the giant beast, the roar vibrated and the surrounding crazy spiritual power turbulence, it is estimated that ordinary people would have died long ago. Fortunately, Chufeng has a battle armor, and his physique has been forged by light storage stones, fire trials, etc., which is far more than half of the critical realm. Yi Zi glanced at Chufeng, who seemed to be unscathed, in surprise. Then he pointed to the belly of the beast, which should have been forcibly dug out a large piece of flesh and blood, and the exposed red bead said, "Open it." What? Chufeng was stunned. Yi Zi said urgently, "Quick." Shit. Chufeng is stupid. He's not an explosive talent, hey. No wonder he was called. It turned out to be borrowing his talent to help drive things. But the special meow he is not. Seeing that so many people here are working hard to kill an eternal beast, it is estimated that it is for the things in its abdomen, if the special meow does not give what they want. Aren't those who have already died sacrificed in vain? See Chufeng's hesitation. Yi Zi said, "You don't have to worry, it doesn't matter if you can't open it, this is our only solution at the moment, you can open it anyway." I am. This time, Chufeng was really put on the neck by the knife. But he couldn't confess the fact that he was a super extractor of SSS-level talent at this time. It's not that I can't trust this country, but that I can't trust some people in the country. He can never expose his talent to others. That's the equivalent of self-destruction. But at this moment, Yi Zi's expectant eyes, and the surrounding soldiers who were desperately resisting this eternal beast. Chu Feng could only bite the bullet. One of his hands was slightly close to the red orb-like thing. Although he didn't know what it was, it might be something similar to a treasure chest. Turn on! Exclamation mark! The orb inside the giant beast made an earth-shattering loud noise, setting off rolling waves, and the terrifying explosive force instantly lifted Chu Feng and Yi Zi hundreds of meters away. Fortunately, the eternal powerhouse of the human race blocked them. Chu Feng didn't even activate the protective shield of the golden armor, and he was unscathed. At the same time, several golden lights shot out from the orb. Chu Feng didn't know what that was. But seeing the surprised expression of the human race eternal powerhouse, there should be what they want in those few things. In the end, that thing was handed over to Yi Zi. Leave all of you. As soon as this beast dies, the entire 102 area will erupt in a beast wave. Hiss. It turns out that it's not that it can't be killed, it's that you have to wait for the orb to be taken out before killing it. Yi Zi put away the things, and her whole face became bright. Yes. And many more. Chu Feng said suddenly. Everyone looked at him. Cough. Since this giant beast is going to die anyway, without waiting for it to be retrieved once it dies, when will Chu Feng be able to encounter an eternal beast? After this village, there is no such shop. 1. Have to find a good reason. Otherwise, with so many pairs of eyes staring at him, it is likely to reveal his purpose. Now, facing the eternal doubtful eyes of a human race, and the attention of nearly 100 sun and moon powerhouses, Chu Feng scratched his head embarrassedly. Can the junior stay and watch? Cough cough. After all, the first time I saw Invincible's shot, it was still fighting against the eternal beast. For the juniors, it was a very rare learning opportunity. There are still so many common team battles of the seniors of the Sun and Moon realm powerhouses. Such a brilliant battle, I am afraid that this junior will never see a second time in this life. So if you can stay and observe, maybe it will be of great benefit to the future practice of the younger generation. But don't worry, what I'm good at is running, and when I'm in danger, I'll run the fastest. As if to reassure them, Chu Feng also showed his speed. Certainly not full speed, but with his 1000 plus full point speed attribute and super god armor, Chu Feng's wind-like speed really surprised this human race forever. Show off your own speed. Chu Feng held his breath deliberately to make his face turn red and look shy. With the look of anticipation that Chu Feng was most disdainful of in the past, he eagerly looked at the human race eternal and Yi Zi next to him. Human race eternity is of course impossible to be moved by a man's expectant eyes. He even wanted to kick Chu Feng out of District 102. But well, in this world, is there really a woman who is not designed by beautiful men? Yi Zi coughed and said, Mr. Wei, why don't you just let him stay and have a look? Yi Zi also knew that her stance was a little lacking, and quickly explained. Such an opportunity is indeed very rare for the younger generation. It may even become a big chance for him to advance to Sun and Moon. Oh my goodness, a thousand junction realm, so you want to go to the Sun and Moon realm? The corner of the human race's eternal president Wei's mouth twitched, and he glanced at Yi Zi with contempt. Cough. Yi Zi turned her face away and realized that her behavior was not appropriate. People told her to leave quickly, mainly to protect her safety, but she didn't. Ahem. Chu Feng also deeply despised his own shamelessness. Then he narrowed his eyes with a smile. That was a pure good, thank you, Sister Yi Zi. Yi Zi's cheeks turned red, and she felt even more embarrassed. If there is a situation, send it out immediately, he urged. And Mr. Wei obviously knew that he couldn't control these two guys. Anyway, their mission this time was completed, and it did not violate the rules for Chu Feng to take a look. Such an opportunity is indeed rare for the younger generation. I was too lazy to deal with it, and went back to fight the monsters. Chu Feng floated to Yi Zi's side, getting a little closer to the battle situation. His expression seemed to be extremely hungry. Yi Zi was also affected a little and watched the battle. Chu Feng is quite satisfied with his acting skills. Consider whether there is a chance to go to the whole actor. PFF. Po Zhao Hao Hao has a feeling of opening a new world. It turns out that looking handsome can be used for this. Tisk tisk tisk. A person's strength does not simply refer to his combat effectiveness. It seems that whether his acting skills are good or not is also an important test point. Chu Feng, what is your cultivation base now? Yi Zi suddenly became pregnant. Chu Feng replied, it is very important. Puff. Yi Zi almost stopped spraying. The 9th level. Yi Zi's eyes widened in horror. Didn't you teleport from Area 96? Your body didn't explode. Ah, that's not right. Can you withstand the roar of the eternal beast? She thought that Chu Feng at least vacated the Sky or Lingyun cultivation base. She had only just taken off the air herself, and unlike President Wei, she could directly see through other people's cultivation. No wonder President Wei despised her so much just now. It's a critical situation. She actually gave such a bloody reason. She really wants to find a dog hole to crawl into now. She must have been fascinated by Chu Feng's smile just now. Such a shame. It is estimated that it will spread throughout the entire Jun district. Oh my god. Heaven. Facing Yi Zi's shaped mouth, Chu Feng explained in a very sincere and pure manner. I went to the fire trial before, and there happened to be a few very good seniors who took me to more than 100 levels, so the physical body is relatively strong. 5. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Yi Zi was struck by lightning again. Tender. You are in a critical state, so you went to the fire test. You're still over 100 levels. Yi Zi's professional relationship seldom pays attention to the hot spots of the outside world, otherwise it is impossible for her not to know about Chu Feng. After all, Chu Feng is really in the limelight this year. So when I heard that Chu Feng's special meow went to the fire trial to pass more than 100 levels, I was envious and jealous. The fire trial is a trial copy that takes off in the air, and even someone like her did not get a qualification. At least in their monarch district, only those who have made major contributions can go to the queue. Attention, it's a queue. Yi Zi did have a lot of credit, but she has only been in the industry for a year. She is actually only 19 this year, so she is only 1 year older than Chu Feng. Therefore, although she has credit, she is too young and has too little qualifications, so it is not her turn to line up. So jealous, so jealous. Qianjin went to the fiery trial. My god. How solid does this foundation have to be? Not even afraid of the roar of the eternal beast. Yi Zi's heart was roaring frantically. Then she always felt that she was also considered a chosen person, and her cultivation base was extremely talented, and she was vacated in just 1 year. The talent is also very special. As soon as he left school, he entered the industry. It can be said that his debut is at the peak, and he has obtained a perfect resume that is envied by many people. But terribly, people are more than people, it's really maddening. Woohoo! Yi Zi took a few deep breaths, only to calm down his roaring heart. Forget it, who left her home alone? Yi Zi sighed, since you have such a good chance, Sijeb, you should cherish it. Today's eternal battle may be of great help to you, so you should watch it carefully. 5. Chu Feng nodded obediently. Thank you Sister Yi Zi for your suggestion. Well, if she knew that his cultivation had fallen from Wanxi, would she have? Forget it. Stop hitting people. Don't call me sister, I'm just 1 year older than you. Yi Zi said with tears in her eyes. Oh, then, little leaf, watch the battle. Chu Feng smiled. At this moment, the battle has come to an end, and the giant beast was controlled by Jin Zhang so that he could not move, and could only be brutally killed. It should not be long before he was killed. Although Chu Feng was chatting with Yi Zi, but he has been detached to pay attention to the battle here. Watching such a grand battle, and the situation is completely one-sided, can indeed improve Chu Feng's understanding of heaven, battle, cultivation, and so on. To put it simply, I have seen many big scenes, so don't panic. As for the advancement of cultivation, the biggest obstacle is the obstacle of the mind. If a person has a big obsession or inner demon, it will be a huge blow to the progress of the practice. Heavenly Tao Reward. The reward is actually only the cultivation base, and it can only help open one's mind in Kaiyuan realm. For people in the realm of mountains, seas, sun and moon, heavenly Tao rewards are simply insignificant. It can't help them break through the shackles of their cultivation. But well, in fact, Chu Feng is not worried about this. He has the other side of the bluegrass, and the star Luodin who can understand the rhythm of Taoism. These problems are super big problems for others, but they are not a problem for him. But looking at the fight scene of the big guys, Chu Feng still benefited a lot. Just as the battle was about to end, Yi Zi suddenly found a problem. By the way, since you are so talented, how did you fly? She completely ignored this question before. Chu Feng looked at Yi Zi, scratched his head, and showed a pure smile. Ah, this. Yi Zi. Grass. She knows. Why is this guy here? Isn't it because he has a talent for burst rate? Either he has a treasure that can be vacated. Either the special meow is taking the fruit or elixir that increases mental power, forming a double cultivation base. Yi Zi is so restless again. Ah shit. She was literally petrified on the spot, her chin was smashed to the ground, and then she hugged her head and asked the sky 100,000 why. Yi Zi's whole body slumped. How unfair this world is. She wants to hide her tears and run wildly now, and she never wants to see Chu Feng, the heart-piercing little fool. Ah, Chu Feng exclaimed, it will be done. Yi Zi followed his line of sight. This giant beast was on the verge of collapse, and I saw President Wei holding a golden bell in his hand, rumbling, and the golden bell slammed down, giving the beast the final fatal blow. Hoo hoo hoo. The giant beast let out a terrifying final roar, and the sound that was enough to make the heavens and the earth crack shocked Chu Feng and Yi Zi's eardrums to burst, and blood gushed out instantly. Shish. Chu Feng pulled Yi Zi frantically and evacuated back. In the blink of an eye, it was several kilometers away. The location of the giant beast set off a huge wave. Boom boom boom. It was as if the sky and the earth were about to split open, and the seawater poured back and flowed into the sky, forming a huge tsunami. Grass. Chu Feng watched with distress as his island was submerged in the huge waves. Although there are super spiritual fields on the island, don't worry about the herbs being damaged. However, turrets, wooden houses, forging platforms, and reefs will all be damaged to a certain extent, and it will take energy to repair them later. It hurts. I knew that the island should be moved farther away. Yi Zi's expression was even more painful. She is only a second-level island, and she is not as rich as someone like Chu. Her energy is a terrifying amount of tens of millions. In fact, the real island owner below level 3 never had more than 10,000 surplus energy in his hand. My island. Yi Zi burst out crying. I really cried this time. The loss is huge, huge. And Chu Feng can't care about her now, because he is completely staring at the giant beast that has completely fallen down. As long as you can lean over and touch it, then just hiss. But for what reason? There has to be a perfect reason, and it has to be played flawlessly. Otherwise, it is difficult to fool through. Finally, the waves faded, and all the sounds were silent. The moment of death of the eternal beast was the darkness before dawn, and the tide of beasts was about to erupt. Mr. Wei and the rest of the group are all scarred, and the blood is licked from the knife edge, and the blood is not stopping. But Yi Zi couldn't care about those. Her beloved island. Her home. Her turrets. Her fields. All destroyed. How much energy does it take to recover? How long does it take to retreat? Woo. My island. Yi Zi returned to the island, holding her rotten turret and wept bitterly. Cough. Chu Feng floated above her island and said, okay, don't cry, count my faults, and compensate you when you have money. The 3 words, waiting for money, were completely unheard, but the 3 words, compensating you, sounded like thunder. How to compensate? Yi Zi finally remembered that her island was destroyed, and the culprit, Chu Feng, must have taken 90% of the credit. Chu Feng showed a shameless smile. Wait for the money. Quote exclamation mark question mark quote. Yi Zi was unhappy. A soaring flew to Chu Feng's side, looking at his posture to ask him for a theory. Chu Feng turned to look at the giant beast. Tisk tisk, a giant beast comparable to the eternal realm of human beings, and I don't know if its skin is stronger than diamond. Harder, it must be very majestic if it is used to make it into a battle armor. Hiss. Hearing this, Yi Zi's eyes really lit up. The topic has been shifted. Yi Zi swallowed her saliva and shook her head regretfully, not our share. Alas, Chu Feng sighed, staring at the giant beast. Its volume is too large, even President Wei has no storage that can carry it. At this moment, they are dismembering this giant beast, and every part of it has extremely high value, whether it is edible or refining. Chu Feng smacked his lips. Completely aroused Yi Zi's appetite. She flew over, and Chu Feng quickly caught up. Hey hey. Half the battle. Wow. When you look at this giant beast up close, you can better appreciate its incomparable splendor. Mr. Wei, if the meat of this giant beast is used for cooking, would it be especially good? Hee hee. 5. Yi Zi almost didn't drool. President Wei glanced at her sideways. How dare you eat it? It won't last you. Amount. Yi Zi pouted. If you don't eat it now, why not eat it later? She immediately launched 2 tears and beauty. People plan. What kind of person is President Wei? The dignified human race is invincible. You are almost over 100 years old. How can you be fascinated by the mere yellow-haired little girl? Go, go, go. Immediately, he got angry. Yi Zi pursed her mouth pitifully, tangled her hands together, and sobbed pitifully. Woo, my island is so miserable, the loss is huge, woo-hoo. In terms of acting, she and Chu Feng, either ranked second, no one dared to rank first. President Wei was simply blind. Now the young people, 1 or 2 Tai can act, and goosebumps are all over the place. Sister, if he could act like this when he was young, maybe he would have gotten to where he is today decades earlier, Take it, it's boring. President Wei quickly waved his hand and cut off a small piece of meat, slapped it a little bigger, and threw it to Yi Zi. Thank you, Mr. Wei. Mr. Wei is the best. Yi Zi happily accepted. That's a joy. It's like winning the 500 million jackpot. Of course, this piece of meat is worth more than 500 million. Moreover, if President Wei thought that this matter was over, then he would despise these 2 contemporary movie stars and actresses too lightly. At this moment, there is a young and handsome man staring at him eagerly. Wipe, dignified eternal, was stared at by a look that made foul language. You two, take it, get out. Another piece of meat was cut and thrown over, Yoshi, slightly bigger than Yi Zi's. At the moment when Chu Feng received it, he took it out in an unemotional manner. In my heart, I was madly reciting, extract, extract, extract. No energy, no energy, no energy. Important things are said 3 times. Successful extraction. You have obtained the skill, invincible Buddha finger. Grass. Such a small piece can really be extracted. And it's a skill. Skills extracted from the corpse of the eternal behemoth. A skill that blows the sky just by hearing the name. But Chu Feng doesn't dare to do anything now. Things are automatically entered into his Phantom Beast armband. How dare he show anything in front of President Wei? Immediately grinned and said dog-legged, "Thank you, Mr. Wei. Mr. Wei, your heroic appearance is truly unprecedented, and the younger generation admires them all. You are simply a benchmark, a beacon, and a role model for the younger generation. The younger generation must work hard to cultivate, and strive to one day be able to kill the quartet like you, President Wei, and make contributions to this country." Ha 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 ha. After getting the benefits, I was in a good mood, and Chu Feng's mouth became sweet. He has always been in love with the moon, and he has never said such a nasty thing, but at this moment, he said it so smoothly. Tisk tisk tisk. Chu Feng felt that his shamelessness deepened by 360 degrees. PFF'd. Ha. There was laughter from several soldiers around. President Wei's face was a little ugly, and he was a little speechless. He probably didn't expect that Chu Feng, who looks so graceful and modest, flattered so smoothly and naturally. It simply shattered his 3 views on the image of Chu Feng. Ah no. Not originally, this guy has been very good at acting since the beginning. This young man is so special. President Wei has a feeling of being ashamed of himself in terms of shamelessness. People, as long as they are shameless, they are invincible. In his opinion, young Chu Feng and Yi Zi are quite accomplished in this regard. Then President Wei, the beast tide is coming, this junior and Yi Zi will say goodbye first. After the flattery, ready to run. But I heard President Wei say, wait. Chu Feng was a little surprised, did he just show some flaws? However, his face was calm and still with a smile on his face. If you are seen by someone you know, you will probably be shocked. No one would have thought that the handsome Chu God would also have such a dog-legged side. You keep this 1000 lotus shield. Go to the copy of Tiandao Chants, everything is careful. A very simple wooden shield appeared in the hands of President Wei. This shield looks unremarkable, and the wood carving of a 1,000-petal lotus may be the origin of its name. But since it was taken out of Mr. Wei's hands, Chu Feng never believed it was just a lump of wood. I didn't expect to be able to get a shield baby by flattering. If the younger Chu Feng knew such good things, I am afraid that he would have to study this skill from half a year old. Mr. Wei, how embarrassing this is. He said that he was embarrassed, but his body was very honest, and the action of stealing Qinlian's shield seemed to be afraid that Wei would always regret it shamelessly. Puff, all the soldiers next to him sprayed. This guy named Chu Feng can't bear to look straight at him. It's clear that someone who looks so suave, like a noble son, has no lower limit. After getting the 1,000 Lotus Shield, 737, Chu Feng lovingly touched it, smiling and blooming. His mouth was also smeared with honey. Thank you, Mr. Wei. I will definitely protect the little leaves. This is my mission, and there is no excuse. President Wei's mouth twitched. Damn it, what should I do if I suddenly regret sending it out? But it's too shameful to take it back. It's just that he was so overwhelmed just now that he actually admired this unscrupulous, dog-legged young man named Chu Feng. Okay, stop flattering, the beast swarm is coming, you can go. Hey, good, then the junior will say goodbye first. Chu Feng hung the 1,000 Lotus Shield on his back, turned and flew back to his island. Yeezy, poorly, then I'll go too. Don't look at me with that look, there are few good treasures on you. President Wei snorted coldly. It's really too high. No full entanglers. Yeezy pokes his hands. Although she has a lot of self-defense babies, who would think that there are too many babies? And the 1,000 Lotus Shield, that is a big treasure that can defend against the powerhouse of the 5th layer of the Sun-Moon realm. Alas, well, Yeezy returned to her island very resentfully and made an appointment with Chu Feng. The two smashed the teleportation scroll at the same time and disappeared in place in an instant. They left soon after. A violent beast tide broke out in Area 102. The beasts of the Eternal Realm are also top-level combat powers for the sea beasts. When it exists, it will deter the beasts in the deep sea area and form a kind of structural stability, so once the Eternal Beast dies, there will definitely be a beast tide competing for territory. At this time, the entire 102 area will fall into the melee. On the Imperial Capital's side, they must have found a good reason to notify in advance, so the people who are currently staying in the area are at least level 3 islands. And there are few low-level islands in the deep sea area, so it will not cause bad social impact. However, Yeezy only used up 2 teleportation scrolls, and found that Chu Feng in front was not leaving. With a thump in her heart, she quickly asked loudly, "What's wrong? We have to get out of here quickly, don't linger in the sea." Front. Chu Feng flew up and floated above Yeezy's island. Don't you think this is a great opportunity? Yeezy was puzzled. Chu Feng grinned. This level of beast tide, especially the beast tide in the deep sea area, can be called a rare occurrence in a century, right? At times like this, there are usually many exotic beasts, especially those that are not usually seen at all. Grass. Yeezy understood in seconds. Are you crazy? You're dying. Our strength is impossible to survive in the beast tide. Yeezy felt that Chu Feng's forehead must have been caught by a walnut. She didn't wait for Chu Feng's response before she finished speaking, and found that something strange was happening around Chu Feng's island. Because now the beast tide has erupted, it is currently the first wave, although the sea beast level is not the highest, but it should be at least around Lingyun 9th layer. However, why did those sea monsters that besieged Chu Feng Island just lay down on the reef of his island for a while and then died by themselves? And look at herself. Her poor rock, swaying with a precarious and broken body, was abused by the sea monsters, and was about to be raised to the ground and attack the island. Quote, ? Quote. You, what level is your reef? Too much shit. What the hell? Pervert. Nerve. Do you want to hit people like this? Is this a tier 2 island in particular? The defense and passive attack of this reef is at least comparable to that of a level 4 island. Holy shit. Yeezy's eyes changed in an instant. Chu Feng smiled slightly, raised his chin, and said, "How is it?" Big guy. Yeezy rushed over, hugged Chu Feng's thigh. Really hold. Those eyes seemed to be drowning in the invincible favor from an 80-year-old mother. Great God, Chu. Boss Chu, take me. Let's cooperate. Our cooperation is absolutely invincible in the world. Don't believe me, I'm really amazing. Take me Bring me a wave, big guy. This time it was Chu Feng's turn to be shocked. You. If you say change your face, you will change your face. Yi Zi looked at a small and charming person, who would have thought that he was so unscrupulous and had no lower limit. Chu Feng's first impression of her was completely different. Your sister. Now, Chu Feng is completely convinced by Yi Zi's acting that turns his face faster than a book. You are the queen of the golden horses. Oscar also awarded one. It's not impossible to take you. Who is Chu Feng? Even though he was madly complaining about Yi Zi's shamelessness, his expression was still indifferent, and even Tsunere got up. But what's in it for me? Your island level is so low, your ability to protect yourself is so poor, tisk. Woohoo. Disgusted by the boss, Yi Zi wanted to cry without tears. If she knew that Chu Feng was so eloquent and could create a reef on a level 4 island on a level 2 island, she would definitely worship it like the Jade Emperor from the very beginning. Boss Chu, do you know my talent? Let's put it this way, that eternal beast, I found it. Chu Feng's eyes lit up. Yes. If this little girl Yi Zi has no ability, can she participate in this task with her ability? Coco. Okay, you can sense it now, which direction there are precious sea beasts, let's collect a wave. However, the eternal realm is exempt, below the sun and the moon. Eternity, you dare to think. The corners of Yi Zi's mouth twitched, and her face was a little unnatural. He coughed and said, There are no precious sea beasts nearby. Chu Feng was so angry that he kicked her away. Are you fooling me? Yi Zi is aggrieved. Her stupid talent. It's called supernatural induction. The so-called induction means that she can sense some precious things, whether it is sea beasts or treasures. Not only can she sense the exact location and coordinates, but she can even sense the level of the sea beast, the specific function of the treasure, etc. But, super sense. What is a super god? In other words, she can sense its preciousness, at least when it reaches the super god level. So, below the super god. Sorry, Yi Zi can't feel it. This creates a fatal problem. Is the super god baby easy to get? Not easy to take. Feeling it, does Yi Zi have the ability to get it? No. Woohoo. Her super tasteless talent is destined for her to miss the treasure in this life, at least the first half of her life. Hey, how dare I fool you? It's just that there really isn't any baby around here. How can a baby be so good? Looking at Yi Zi's superb acting skills, Chu Feng couldn't believe it at all. Moreover, he had already guessed Yi Zi's talent. Come on you, follow me well, and save your own life. Hey, it's so cute. It's so cute. Yi Zi smiled and said, God Chu, are you thirsty? Do you want some water? Where can I find good watermelon juice? Puff. The appearance of this dog's legs is no different from the Chu Feng just now. Shouldn't it be for sale now? Chu Feng felt goosebumps. Bring it here. Then he returned to his island. Yi Zi responded and ran home to fry a glass of watermelon juice. Seeing her dilapidated cabin, Yi Zi's heart bleeds again. But don't be afraid. With Big Brother Chu taking her a wave, this Lingyun sea beast in the deep sea area is worth 200 energy no matter what. Just as much as you can. Sooner or later, she will have enough energy to repair her island. Come to the top of Chu Feng's island. Yi Zi did not dare to land rashly. Isn't that nonsense? Landing on someone else's island casually is not only against the law, but also against morals, and offends people. Chu Feng raised his eyes. Come down. Hey, it's here. Yi Zi hurriedly floated down, not daring to look around, but Chu Feng was sitting under the phoenix tree, and the swing was beautifully tied. That tree is also growing beautifully. The most coquettish thing is that there is actually a swimming pool. Although the tent next to the swimming pool was destroyed in a mess. But it does not affect 1/10 of the beauty of the island. When I went, I didn't expect that the god of Chu had such a high level of appreciation and tidy up the island so beautifully. Boss, your island is so beautiful. Yi Zi complimented him sincerely, offered watermelon juice dog-legged, and squatted down graciously to beat Chu Feng's legs. Chu Feng's hand holding the watermelon juice trembled and almost didn't splash her face. This Yi Zi. Cattle. You are a real cow. You can do this, you are not ordinary. Chu Feng gave Yi Zi a hard compliment in his heart. According to her diligence, if Chu Feng didn't give her more sea monsters today, Chu Feng himself would feel blackhearted. Grass. In terms of shamelessness and no lower limit, Chu Feng is willing to bow down. Take a sip of watermelon juice. Puff. It's so hard to drink. What's wrong with the boss? Is watermelon juice bad to drink? The ones on Emma's family's island are all ordinary crops, which are completely inferior to the boss's island. I wonder if you have anything delicious. No. Chu Feng put the watermelon juice aside. Dead girl, the idea is very fast. Oh, Yi Zi slightly despised. Grass. Yes, this uncle will not be fooled. Fortunately, the position of the turret has been moved before, slightly blocking his spiritual field. The Lingtian could not be seen on the beach, so Chu Feng didn't dare to look inside, so she got up and went directly to the beach. At this moment, the island has been driving fast towards Area 101. Chu Feng opened the way in front, the turrets repeatedly attacked, and the surrounding sea beasts were wiped out. Yi Zi's island followed him to enjoy benefits. Some monsters with residual blood will die directly on her island if they are unlucky, and they will not be attacked by a large number of sea monsters. As long as the beast tide has been maintained at this level, Chu Feng should be able to harvest a lot of things without having to do it himself. On the beach, at this moment, there are more than 24 sea monster corpses lying there. Chu Feng took out the broken iron teeth. Naturally he took it from the ring in his hand. It was obtained from Wang Min. It's expensive, but it's something you can buy. The Phantom Beast armband is different. It can release living creatures, it is definitely not an ordinary thing. And hidden on the arm, wearing long sleeves no one can see. Holding the iron broken teeth, Chu Feng directly ripped open the belly of the sea monster. Blood and intestines hang on the ground. Yi Zidong almost vomited. What are you doing, boss? You want to touch a corpse? It's not me, although I have heard of such a thing, but the probability is as low as 1 in a billion. Even if you touch all the sea monsters in the entire deep sea area, it is difficult to find something. Chu Feng glanced at her and saw her charming appearance, and knew that she was definitely not the kind of person who did this kind of thing. What if there is? If someone has succeeded, it means there is a chance. Of course, Chu Feng's real purpose is mainly to extract deep sea monsters. The treasures that can be produced should be much rarer than the attack list. Otherwise, why would Chu Feng take the risk here? It's a rare opportunity, especially those sea beasts that usually hide under the deep sea and rarely appear. As long as you can extract a rare item, it is pure profit. Successful extraction. You got energy 1000. 1000 points of energy is high enough. Cut. Yi Zi pouted. Although it is possible, the probability is too low, and it is almost useless. With this time, it is better to practice. After Chu Feng extracted it, he continued to touch it. Grab it, take it out and take a look. You got the wish gold coin 1. A golden coin is used to make a wish, and the degree to which its wish can be realized depends on its own cultivation. But according to legend, this gold coin is sometimes particularly pitiful. Because of the way it fulfills wishes, it's sometimes not particularly beautiful. However, this kind of thing sometimes works at a decisive and critical time. Chu Feng was looking at the gold coin. Yi Zi's ranting stopped abruptly. She stared blankly at Chu Feng. He stared blankly at the golden coin in his hand again. With a thud, Yi Zi immediately knelt down. I'm going to kill you. How could you forget Chu Feng's talent? Explosion rate. Explosion rate. Grass. This world is so up. Big, big, big. God Chu. Grandpa Chu. Dad Chu. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Boss, I'm willing to warm the bed for you woo woo. Just ask the big guy to bring a wave. Warm the bed. Chu Feng squinted at her and smiled narrowly. Oh. When you call the bed warmer, shouldn't you mean burning the beams of the house? Wipe. How could the boss think so? It's just an insult to her personality. Hey. Big brother Chu. Yi Zi twisted her waist and showed a shameless and flattering smile. After Chu Feng returned to her old subway man and looked at the expression on her mobile phone, she went into the battle of touching the corpse again. Wow, This sea monster looks like a broken gong monster. If it is processed, it only has 50 energy points, but if it is peeled and processed, a single skin can be sold for more than 300 energy. Hey, Brother Chu, don't you have a storage device? You can bring it back to the base when the time comes. Such a large amount can make a lot of money. Anyway, it's more cost-effective than processing it directly to the endless system. Yi was right, but Chu Feng is not short of energy, so he is too lazy to do it. This is what Yi calls wasting time. Okay. Chu Feng touched several of these gong-breaking monsters in a row. Except for the initial prayer gold coins, all he got was energy. However, he is not discouraged. There will definitely be good treasures in the extraction, but the number is too small, and the probability has not yet come up. As for touching corpses, one of them is pure profit, and he doesn't lose any money this time. Chu Feng was in charge of removing the corpse, while Yi peeled the skin without saying a word. Her uniform was dripping with blood in a short while, but Yi dared to swear that since she entered the endless sea, she has never felt so happy. It feels good to have a big boss. Going to fly, ha 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 ha. Be sure to hold Chu Feng's thigh tightly in the future. This is one of the few golden thighs. Yi feels that Chu Feng's handsome and charming figure is more pleasing to the eye. Chu Feng's side is calm and the waves are calm, and other areas can be described as hot and hot, with 2 layers of ice and fire. Duan Sheng, you fool. In the China civilization base, the dignified President Duan was scolded by a phone call, and the surrounding people were struggling to kill their subordinates. Work hard on the surface, but in fact prick up your ears. You, how dare you give Chu Feng a mission? Do you know who he is? Do you know what the order above is? You sincerely opposes lousy. Feng Yi was so angry that he cursed. Grandmas. The specified person to be protected, Duan Sheng has been assigned a dangerous mission with the highest level of secrecy. Isn't this what he's doing against him? If something happened, what would he do? Duan Sheng, this fool, tricked him to death. At this moment, the city was still cloudy, and many civilians were killed by bloodthirsty birds and beasts. His clothes were dyed red, and he was abusive. At this moment, his brows and eyes were filled with a successful smile. Yo. Who do I think it is? It's Mr. Feng. It's a pleasure to meet you. Why do you have time to call me? It's an honor. Your uncle. Feng Yi exploded again. He was really afraid. In the entire China base, there are nearly 200,000 new people opening the island every year, and Chu Feng came out on top among the 200,000 people, ranking second. If such a person falls in the mission, what a loss to the China base. Moreover, Chu Feng is also an important protection object of this mission, pointing to him to win glory for the country in the opportunity of heaven. Let me tell you, if there is something wrong with Chu Feng, I will let you down. Laozi is not kidding. Feng Yi really has this ability. But he couldn't scare Duan Sheng. When he heard this, he sneered, okay, I really want to take a long vacation and go on my honeymoon with my daughter-in-law. Tisk, how beautiful. 5. Feng Yi was so angry that he smashed another table and his eyes were red. But he is a leader anyway, so what's the use of getting angry? Feng Yi actually knew what Duan Sheng wanted Chu Feng to do. Too many people stare at Chu Feng's talent. If you can make some contributions to the China base, what's wrong? So Feng Yi is not angry with this, but with Duan Sheng, the who cut him off. The task was given first, and Tai Miao's impression was left first. How would Feng Yi win over Chu Feng in the future? Granny. Qi returned to Qi, and Feng Yi quickly came to his senses. Duan Sheng, you should know that Chu Feng is currently our key protection object, the kind that guarantees death. I'm not telling you, in case Chu Feng really has 3 strengths and 2 weaknesses, plus his talent. Don't say you can't handle it, even I can't handle it. Duan Sheng laughed. I heard President Wei say, that kid is a ghost. A person like him has great luck in his body, and his life is long. Feng Yi snorted coldly. I sent someone to contact him before, but unfortunately I made an oolong and made that kid run away. I didn't get a life-saving means for him, aren't I worried? I heard that your city got a storage stone mine last time, and got a lot of storage stones. Oh. Is it a rumor? Duan Sheng's mouth twitched. That's not Laozi's. Laozi can still make it out for Chu Feng. Feng Yi said. Tisk, there is no reward for such a big task. Do you think I believe it? I will believe it. Duan Sheng took a few deep breaths. I'll think of a way. Grass. Bleeding. Damn it. Duan Sheng cursed in his heart. Feng Yi continued. Well, Chu Feng's turrets have all been upgraded to 5 woods, so don't take them out at level 5 to be shameful. Quote question mark question mark question mark question mark exclamation mark. Duan Sheng was shocked. What's the matter? Isn't today the 8th day of opening the island? I've crossed. Chu Feng's background is very strong. I haven't heard of it. Where did he get so many energy storage stones? Feng Yi pouted. Tisk, it's no wonder that you are still in S City after all these years. Question mark question mark question mark. Is there any inevitable Jiao connection between these two things? Grass. Also hang up his phone. Feng Yi, you old dog. Duan Sheng froze in place for a long time after finishing the phone call, and after thinking for a while, he murmured, that kid's talent is so conspicuous. Upgrading a 5-wood turret requires 600 normal energy storage stones. And the energy storage stone is at least the material that comes out of the blue treasure chest. A maximum of 10 pieces are released each time, and 20 pieces are considered lucky. Where did Chu Feng get so many energy storage stones? Is his talent so outrageous? Grass. Duan Sheng was a little dumbfounded, but if he knew that the Chu Feng he sent out had already assisted in completing a mission today, he would probably be more than dumbfounded. Unfortunately, the content of the mission is also highly confidential. Haha. At this moment, what troubled Duan Sheng the most was where he could get 6 grade 6 energy storage stones for Chu Feng. This is equivalent to 1,440 ordinary energy storage stones, not a small amount. Successful extraction. You got energy 258000. Walking in Area 102 for almost 2 hours, Chu Feng touched 300 sea monster corpses, both rare and ordinary. After taking 250,000 energy, Chu Feng now has nearly 1 million energy. Other supplies include Baiyaoguo 1, Xian Fruit 2, Kale Fruit 1, Tianshan Yacon Fruit 1, Wangji Fruit 1, Ruyi Fruit 1. The only herbs that have not been repeated are Liangyi grass, Shenji, Shuitu, Shiwei grass, and devouring flowers. It seems that another kind of medicinal pill has been collected, but with Yizi around, Chu Feng has no time to learn the invincible Buddha finger, let alone alchemy. He had to find time to concoct alchemy before entering the copy of Heaven's Dao Chants, and then learn the invincible Buddha finger. That is a skill extracted from the eternal behemoth. Chu Feng had a hunch. The lethality is absolutely explosive, terrifying, limited, and completely crushing. In addition to these, Chu Feng also extracted 60 energy storage stones, a few ocean spar, and the ocean spar was lower than red, and Chu Feng was too lazy to count. Then there are Teleportation Scroll 18, Battle Termination Ticket 4, and Storm Scroll 1, Blizzard Scroll 1, Frozen Scroll 1, and Lightning Scroll 2. Then there are the Acceleration Potions, Strengthening Potions, and Healing Potions. Chu Feng doesn't even bother to count 740 of the things that he doesn't need. Super Strengthening Potion 4, Super Accelerating Potion 3, Super Healing Potion 1, Squid Poison 1, Super Corrosive Poison 1, Jellyfish Poison 3. The Super Healing Potion is quite powerful, but the medicinal materials corresponding to Chu Feng's Tianshan Yacon fruit have been collected, so keep it in stock. But these toxins are new things. It is indeed a sea monster in the deep sea area. Especially the super corrosive toxin, if used on enemies or super strong krakens. One more thing, almost forgot. 3 explosive flame crystals. This is a kind of spar similar to ocean spar that can be inlaid on the turret. A very rare treasure. Its function is not to increase the attack, but to add an explosive flame attribute to the turret, and all the shells that are attacked have a 200% burning effect. And as long as the opponent is not an ice attribute sea monster or has ice attribute and other fire resistance attributes, he can ignore the water attribute restraint of the sea area. But, like the ocean spar, this explosive flame crystal can also be used for cultivation. Due to its rarity, Chu Feng has not obtained much information. This explosive flame crystal can be cultivated by ordinary people, and it may increase the fire attribute to achieve an effect similar to fire storage stone. But don't forget, Chu Feng has an S talent, Searing Eye. Originally, with such an awesome fighting attribute talent as Searing Eye, it could at least be rated as SSS. But unfortunately, there are a lot of water attributes in the Endless Sea. Water and fire are mutually restrained, so the Burning Eye is suppressed. After Chu Feng's Burning Eye and Clairvoyant talent are combined, he can achieve precise long-range attacks. But the effect is still not enhanced. What if Chu Feng cultivates Explosive Flame Crystal? Can you increase the lethality of Searing Eye? Can you ignore the water restraint? This point needs to be tested after he absorbs the Explosive Flame Crystal. Therefore, before entering the Dungeon of Heaven's Path, it is imperative to find a separate opportunity for yourself. District 102. The first batch of beast tides was easy to fight, and when the second batch of beast tides came, the worst cultivation level was also approaching the 5th level of the mountain and sea realm. Chu Feng had to continue to upgrade the reef level, otherwise his island would not be able to withstand it. Spend all your energy and lift the reef. While Yi Zi was sorting out the sea monster corpse and didn't notice it, Chu Feng gave an order in his heart. Your defense reef has been raised to level 259. A total of 877,500 energy consumption points. Defense reef. Current defense. 9,163,800. Attack. 916,380. Chu Feng was slightly stunned. Shit. Close to 100. Cjeb 10,000 energy, only from level 254 to level 259. Aw shit. Thinking about it, the last upgrade cost nearly 10 million energy. It turns out that his reef level is already so high. Chu Feng gave himself a terrible start. He thought that this wave would be able to rise to level 300, but it turned out that he missed a 0. Such a high-level reef can't hold up this beast tide. Actually, Chu Feng completely ignored it. The most important reason why the beast tide is a beast tide is that the number of sea beasts is large, and secondly, the emotions of the beasts explode, and of course their attack power also increases. It seems that there are only 5 levels of mountains and seas, but in fact, the real strength is close to the sun and moon realm. He didn't even realize that his reef level could withstand so many fierce attacks from the sun and moon sea beasts at one time. Because too much energy was consumed all at once, the reef only increased a few levels, although the damage was also greatly increased. If the explosive flame crystal is embedded on the turret, the damage will definitely increase again, but the shells fired will be discovered by Yi Zi. So Chu Feng had to fight it himself. Fighting against the sea beasts in the mountains and seas is a big challenge for Chu Feng. The will to fight is aroused once again. Every battle of Chu Feng is a sublimation of willpower and physique. Although Chu Feng was wearing the super god gold armor, but unfortunately these sea beasts were too crazy and their strength was too strong. After Chu Feng killed one with the help of the turret. Lots of wounds all over his body. His left arm was torn out with a huge bloody opening. Fighting in blood, Chu Feng looks like a god of killing. Yi Zi, who was tired of peeling the skin and dismembering the corpse, inadvertently looked at it, and his teeth trembled in fright. Is this really a critical situation? This combat power is too terrifying. Yi Zi gritted his teeth secretly, and had a little more awareness of Chu Feng's perversion. Although she knew that Chu Feng could kill the mountain and sea monsters, it was only with the help of the turret and the reef, but she still felt horrified. If this matter is replaced by her, you might be shot to death as soon as you go out. It was so dead that it was flattened into pieces of wood. Chu Feng not only has a strong willpower, but also an exceptionally strong physique. Envy, grass, as expected of a person who has entered the fiery trial in 1,000 years. Hearing Chu Feng screaming suddenly, Yi Zi was taken aback, thinking that something had happened to Chu Feng. What's wrong? Come back soon. The third batch of beast tides is about to start. All of them are from the sun and moon realm. We have to leave quickly. 5. But listen to Chu Feng said. I think I'm about to advance. I can't control it. Yi Zi, what the hell? Are you going to advance to Wanxi in a fight? What about the advanced mental obstacle? What about the understanding of heaven? What about the obstacle between the 9 orifices? Yi Zi's eyes widened. What the hell? But for Chu Feng, he was originally Wanxi, and he went to a fiery trial to compress his cultivation. Later, he fought 110 waves of attacks and absorbed a lot of heavenly Dao rewards. He was not in a hurry to advance at all. Anyway, his strength has been rising, and he doesn't care. Who would have thought that I had a fight with that monster just now? Chu Feng realized something special. As a result, it was found that the strength in the body was rising, and there was a hidden sign of breaking through the myriad stones. He wanted to press. It turned out to be unstoppable. Moreover, Chu Feng has a hunch that this time, the world of the advanced 10,000 stone is different, only big or small. Because of the light storage stone. The light attribute. That thing is compressed, and it is advanced again, which must be a terrifying sense of heaven and earth. Anyway, you must leave here immediately. It is absolutely impossible to advance in Area 102. Otherwise, when he comes out of the advanced stage, Yi Zaidu will be bitten to the bone. Go, go. Chu Feng flew down quickly, frantically compressing the soaring power in his body, his face flushed red. Okay, it's the previous coordinates, let's go. Yi Zi responded, and Chu Feng smashed the teleportation scroll at the same time, and the two islands disappeared instantly. Those sea monsters who were still attacking the island scratched their heads in confusion, and in the end they could only be incompetent and furious. However, what Chu Feng did not expect was the teleportation scroll, which compresses and distorts the space, is an extremely rare kind of human technology that can never be replicated. Seemingly inexpensive but highly technical stuff. Each transmission, for the transmitter, actually experienced a process of eyes closed. That is, the period of sudden disappearance, the transmitter is unconscious. He will not see the distortion of the river of space. But this time, Chu Feng saw it. As soon as Chu Feng crushed the teleportation scroll, he found that the scene in front of him receded so quickly that it formed stripes that continued to extend backwards. Space, still time. Chu Feng's voice became extremely ethereal, and the power in his body that was surging and churning, now became extremely calm. Chu Feng's consciousness seems to have fallen into an ethereal state. Confused, bewildered, he seems to have caught something in the world again, but he can't say why. He entered a special state of realization. It seems to be something that I figured out when I killed the monster just now. Although he didn't get a clue, he came into contact with a little bit, plus the sudden surge in his cultivation to advance, plus the teleportation scroll, he actually entered such a magical space. Time and space are eternal at this moment. Neither birth nor death, rise nor fall, neither forward nor backward, neither up nor down. Eternal, eternal. Chu Feng suddenly felt a splitting headache. He clearly caught something, but why couldn't he understand? Ah, this is the ethereal way of heaven. Incredible. Star Rodan. I still have a Star Rodan. Chu Feng hurriedly took out the last remaining star, Rodan, in the Eudemon's armband. Swallow in one bite. Puff puff. Dao Yun skyrocketed. Ah, Chu Feng suddenly felt a splitting headache, completely different from the last time he realized the world. The soaring power of the advanced level seemed to burst his head, and even his spiritual sea became terrifyingly turbulent. Ah. The stripes in front of me suddenly shattered. What? If the streaks represent solid spatial movement, does fragmentation mean that the space is also fragmented? Although Chu Feng has never heard of the accidental teleportation scroll, if he accidentally falls into the crack of time and space. Grass. These fast thoughts flashed through his mind at the speed of light, but in fact, it was less than 1 second before the stripes were broken. The next moment, the booming Dao rhyme made Chu Feng suddenly feel something. Time. What is time? Time, is it past, future, present? No. Not. Chu Feng immediately rejected the idea. Time is just a scale. Like 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters and 3 centimeters, it just records what's happening on a certain scale. In fact, the real world is eternal, right? All things are happening at the same time. Boom boom boom. At the moment when this astonishing conclusion was broken by Chu Feng, the shattered space made a loud noise. What? Chu Feng's whole body fell down. Is he going to fall into a space rift? Is he going to die? Is his life coming to an end? Thoughts flashed one by one. Chu Feng suddenly realized that he had nothing to regret. In his previous life at Blue Star, Chu Feng was just an ordinary person, graduated from an ordinary undergraduate degree, with an ordinary appearance, an ordinary family, and no dog blood experience, but he was not brilliant. After traveling here, he used the mind of an adult to be a human being in 2 lifetimes and constantly manage himself. Eventually become a god of the second middle school, a campus myth. Also became the current Chu Feng. I have to say that his rebirth was actually quite successful. 0. He has no regrets at all. If death can bring him back to Blue Star, he would like to be filial to his parents. Parents with white hair and black hair must be sad and painful for a long time. Although the grief had been forgotten, Chu Feng remembered it deeply at this moment. Heart hurts. I don't know if it was somewhere that Chu Feng touched something. He actually saw the parents of his previous life at the moment of his rapid whereabouts. Dad, Mom. However, before Chu Feng could greet them, they disappeared into the long river of time. It seems that he is really going to die. This is the revolving light before death. Although a little unwilling, Chu Feng has no regrets. Puff, ass, stock, came the severe pain. Ouch. The skyrocketing power on Chu Feng completely disappeared. He rubbed his butt and stood up. What he saw was a huge green tree. Such a strong breath of life. Chu Feng looked at it in surprise, and then heard a few goose calls. Only then did he discover that there was a well under the giant tree, which looked like a spring. The well was built with red bricks, and 3 extremely beautiful women were sitting next to the well. They are dignified, luxurious, graceful, and elegant, with the ethereal temperament of a goddess. Their dress is very typical Nordic, European style. On the grass behind them, 3 cheerful swans were quacking. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. What the hell? Chapter 101. Shit. Chu Feng was not a scholar in his previous life, but he is still a scholar in this life. The giant tree full of life in front of me is not the legendary Ethereal, right? And this spring, could it be the fountain of Erd? As for these 3 beauties, could it be the goddess of destiny who is in charge of the past, present, and future in myth? Old, Verdanti, Shikoti, shit, what the hell? He died, he crossed again, he crossed into the Nordic mythology world. Is this the legendary Asgard, the realm of the gods? Just when Chu Feng was full of doubts, the 3 goddesses looked at him mysteriously. Chu Feng watched helplessly as the giant tree of life named Ethereal gave birth to a branch and moved, 740, towards him. Chu Feng was insane and unexpectedly broke a small branch of the tree of life. At the moment when Chu Feng obtained the branches of life, the surrounding scene receded at the speed of light. Under the gaze of the 3 goddesses of fate, Chu Feng, the uninvited guest, disappeared in Asgard with a branch of the tree of fate. Chu Feng's body flew up quickly, and those fragmented time and space, as if time went backwards, healed again. Chu Feng looked up with a premonition, and he saw his parents again in the same place. They are smiling at Chu Feng. The health has been bad. I don't know if he has deteriorated since he died. Chu Feng has a feeling that if he doesn't do something, he will never have a chance. Just as he crossed the faces of his parents, Chu Feng threw the bottle of super healing potion from the Phantom Beast armband. Mom, Dad, then, he and his parents missed in an instant. I don't know if the bottle of potion was broken in the long river of time and space, or was it really taken by the parents? Is all this a dream or real? Chu Feng is completely confused. Because these things are all beyond his comprehension. Bang! Chu Feng returned to the shuttle in the space river, the broken stripes were recovering sharply, and his skyrocketing power was surging back. It seems to be more violent than before. Ah! A sharp power filled his body, the originally docile light attribute energy, at this moment, like a golden horse, stepping on his strange meridians and 8 meridians, killing wildly. The severe pain made him scream. Ah shit, this is going to smash all his meridians. Grass, what the hell? The power is out of control. If it goes on like this, he will explode in the space river. Could it be that he wants to advance here? Grass. It seems like this is the only way, I can't bear it any longer. Chu Feng has no choice. He has to qualify here. Grass, he should be the first person in history to be promoted in the long river of space, right? Simply insane. But he had no choice. The Judean Xuanyuan cultivation technique and the Sun God Seal circuit were running wildly in his body. Chu Feng has encountered an unprecedented challenge. What's wrong with Yi Zi? Just when Yi Zi crushed the teleportation scroll, flashed 10,000 meters away, and was about to pinch the second one, she found out that Chu Feng was gone. Chu Feng, who was standing beside her just now, came to the island, but no one came. The teleportation is just a blink of an eye. She will never be much slower than Chu Feng, so it is impossible for Chu Feng to suddenly run to another place at such a critical time. However, Chu Feng is really gone. Yizi felt a burst of despair panic. Chu Feng, Chu Feng, she hurriedly shouted on the beach, but she walked around outside and didn't see Chu Feng. Without Chu Feng's control, the island did not move forward, that is to say, they were staying in Area 102, within the Beast Tide group. Yizi's island, the reason why he can walk in the 102 area is that Chu Feng is leading the way. But once it stopped, the surrounding sea monsters gathered and attacked indiscriminately. Chu Feng can handle it, but she can't handle it. Chu Feng, she rushed inside again, looking around the wooden house, behind the house, and even in the woods behind it. Exclamation mark. Nobody. Where did Chu Feng go? Could it be? Did he fall into the space crack? Yizi was shocked. Never heard of a teleportation scroll going wrong, impossible. Call up. Call now for support. Yizi took out the phone, but was shocked to find that there was no signal. Even her special phone has no signal at all. No signal may be because the island stationed in Area 102 responsible for the signal tower has been evacuated, so there is no signal. Can't even use the radio. No problem, there is the endless system. Yizi hurriedly returned to his island to call up the endless system, contact his superiors, and seek support. She edited the coordinates, help. Come on. But before it could be sent out, Yizi's island suddenly shook violently like an earthquake. Boom. Yizi was directly shocked and flew out, vomiting blood, and his face was pale. The third batch of beast tides are here. The beast tide in the sun and moon realm. Done. Ruined. Yizi quickly clicked send. Just the second after she sent the message, a giant beast in the sun and moon landed on her island. In fact, she can also use the teleportation scroll to leave here. Although the giant beast is in the sun and moon realm, it is not her island creature. During transmission, it is not protected by the scroll and will be shredded by the space. But Chu Feng's whereabouts are unknown. Yizi can't go. She has to take Chu Feng with her. The moment the sun and moon beast landed, Yizi flew into the air and quickly fled to Chu Feng's island. The big deal is that she doesn't want her own island anymore. Destroy it, destroy it. Chu Feng's island can last for a while. She wants to wait for Chu Feng here. She doesn't believe that someone like Chu Feng will really die in the long river of space. Certainly not. As soon as Yizi landed on Chu Feng's island, she saw 3 level 4 islands teleporting into the distance. What is the rescue? But didn't see her. Here, I am here. Where there is rescue, there is hope. Maybe Chu Feng can also be rescued. Yizi shouted at the 3 islands, but how could the human voices be heard in Area 102 where the beast tide broke out? She is also stupid. Can't hear from such a distance. Quickly take out the signal fireworks. Boom. The fireworks were lit in the air, and the 102 area, which was as dark as ink, burst into a dazzling red fireworks. Not to mention the 3 islands that are thousands of meters away, you can see them clearly even a few kilometers away. The 3 islands seemed to have turned. Yizi raised her arms in excitement. On a Tier 4 island. Boss, there are 2 islands over there, and it looks like they are about to be submerged by beasts. One-eyed. The man known as the boss is a sturdy man with a lush beard and black teeth. He let out a sneer from his throat. I didn't expect to encounter 2 small fish before going out, let's go. Depart from 3 islands. A small black flag is planted on their wooden houses. Senior island owners will definitely recognize that it is one of the symbols of the 3 major pirate groups in the endless seas. They originally hunted sea beasts in Area 102, but when they saw the arrival of the 3rd wave of beasts, they decided to leave Area 102. Unexpectedly, the prey is automatically delivered to the door. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, Yizi still didn't know what was waiting for her. Because there is no sun in Area 102 at the moment, it is so dark that you can't see your fingers. If it weren't for the lantern flowers and a lot of fireflies on Chu Feng's island, she wouldn't be able to see things hundreds of meters away. But as the 3 islands gradually approached, the happiness on Yizi's face disappeared, and what was replaced was panic. Pale white. Despair. Exclamation mark. It's not support, it's pirates. All the troops have withdrawn from Area 102, even if there is support, how can it come so quickly? She is an idiot. Going to be stupid. This time it's really over. Yeezy's face turned pale in despair, and the bearded black teeth leading the other party laughed wildly after seeing Yeezy's face clearly. Ah ha 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 ha, it was a little beauty, ha ha ha. Beauty. Why are you here alone? Are you waiting for your brother to love you, ha 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 ha? In the only remaining eye of the one-eyed, there was even more drooling eyes. Tisk tisk tisk, Xiaomei. People's skin. The skin is really tender. Chirp, another skinny man said. Boss, she is wearing that kind of uniform, will she? What are you afraid of? Black Fang shouted, today is not a day of mourning, and I can't kill a woman. No matter what her status, Lousy can get anyone he wants. After speaking, it turned into a sharp arrow and flew towards Yeezy's direction. Mountains and seas. 3 mountain and sea realm powerhouses. Yeezy was desperate and desperate again. Chu Feng disappeared, but she had to face 3 mountain and sea powerhouses in a mere emptiness, crazy. She must be crazy to attract these 3 robbers. Tears of fear of death flowed down. Yeezy suddenly gritted her teeth and her eyes became sharp. Either way, just fight. She is not an ordinary vacate. Boom. Countless purple rays of light suddenly erupted from Yeezy's body, and a white sword appeared in her hand. If you want to die, then you have to die properly, die arrogantly, and die better than everyone else. Yeezy raised his sword. However, just as Black Fang was about to land on the island, a black light suddenly shot out from the barracks. Kill him. That black light seemed to be a strip-shaped thing with a round head on top of it. What? Almost forgot. Barracks. Chu Feng must have been training. When Yi Zhejiang was surprised, more than a dozen blue lights flew out from the barracks. Dragon. Dozens of blue dragons. Shit. Chu Feng practiced the dragon race. Yi Zhu directly gave me a big slot, and then she realized that the black light was a black dragon, and what seemed to be a bronze pet egg on top of her head. Yeezy. What the hell? Why carry an egg? Black Fang, who had come from the sky, was even more surprised when he saw this scene. Dragon Clan. Ah ha 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 ha. There is actually a dragon on this little girl's island. Hurry up, kill me. Make a fortune, ha 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 ha. Heya raised his hand with a palm, and with the full blow of the mountain and sea realm powerhouse, the dragon girl who only vacated the sky realm was not an opponent at all. Ow. Dragon flames spewed out. Countless flames illuminated the pitch-black sea, and Eggy rushed out to meet that palm. Ah 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 ah. Black Fang screamed in horror. His hand. He was actually devoured by his own power. That egg. What the hell is that? Ah 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 ah. The other one-eyed and the skinny were burned by the dragon flames. Although the dragon flames in the void realm couldn't hurt them fatally, they were in constant pain, much more painful than ordinary flames. The two quickly took the healing potion, and the dragon flames on their bodies went out. Ow! The dragon girl and the 16 giant dragons uttered dragon roars at the same time, setting off an earth-shattering wave that washed away the sun and moon sea monsters surrounding Chu Feng Island. The 2 turrets became idle in an instant, and began to automatically attack the 3 black teeth who were already within range. Ah, boss, the attack of this turret is so high. The 3 of them quickly retreated, only to be hit a bit. I didn't expect that the dignified mountains and seas were all seriously injured. The thin man's eyes were greedy. A 4 wood and a 5 wood can't have such a high attack. Quote. Boss, his turret is fully equipped. Thin man threw an astonishing answer. Black teeth pupil earthquake. Full match. He looked at the turret. The 2 turrets were fully matched, then he was inlaid with at least 9 red ocean spar. The base attack reached 45,000. Even his island, which has been in the sea for many years, did not get a full turret. This little girl actually has a full turret. Have to kill her. This girl's identity is not simple. If we don't kill her, we will die. Kill. Black Fang roars. Following his order, all the troops in their barracks rushed across the line, attracting firepower. A large number of troops attracted the firepower of the turret, and the sea monsters in the sun and moon realm, who were pushed away by the waves just now, attacked the islands of Chu Feng and Yizi. He Fang had learned the lesson from before. This time he avoided Eggy's attack and slashed directly at Yizi. It is too easy for a mountain and sea to avoid the attack of an egg, not to mention the help of the other 2 mountains and seas. Although Eggy's defensive power is very terrifying, she is still an egg no matter what, and it is impossible to beat a flexible mountain and sea cultivator. Quote comma 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 exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. At this moment, all the dragon clan erupted with amazing dragon roars at the same time. Above the Chu Feng Island, a transparent dragon breath barrier is formed. Hey, just vacating the sky and Wanshi, looking to obstruct the attack of mountains and seas. Go to hell. Boom. The giant palm of Black Fang took the picture, and the dragon breath barrier didn't hold a breath at all, and it shattered in response. 16 giant dragons roared in an instant, because they couldn't withstand the pressure of the strong in the mountains and seas, they exploded and died. The dragon girl was also shocked to the point of splitting her heart and guts, the dish of blood flew out, and Eggy lost her support and fell into the sea of surging waves. They are not opponents. It is impossible to be the opponent of the three mountains and seas. Yizi's hand holding the sword was shaking violently. Chu Feng is gone. She has no ability to protect herself. Are you going to die here? She doesn't agree. The hand holding the sword was raised fiercely. Yizi raised her chin, and received the palm of Heya that day. Just die. Ah! Yizi charged with his sword. The pressure of the mountains and seas came to her, and even with the purple light to protect her body, she could clearly feel the feeling of the power being shattered. She can't be a rival ha ha ha, die. Haya doesn't even have any interest in teasing Mei. People, only by killing this little girl can he feel at ease. Exclamation mark exclamation mark. Just at the moment when the sword and the palm are about to confront each other, the sky and the earth change color, the situation changes, and in the depths of the dark sea, suddenly there are terrifying golden clouds. And behind Yizi, a huge wave of air suddenly erupted, and she flew out. The good news is that the black tooth was also thrown away. Yizi looked back. Chu Feng is back. He's sitting cross-legged on the beach as if he's making the cut. Could it be that the difference between heaven and earth was brought about by him? Can Chu Feng hit the Wanshijing and kill these three mountains and seas? Ah, it doesn't seem to be possible. Yizi has a headache. They still have to leave here quickly, otherwise they will die. Chu Feng, wake up. We have to get out of here quickly. Yizi rushed over, but Chu Feng's eyes were tightly closed. It seemed that it was the critical time for promotion, and he couldn't wake up. There are a lot of forces between heaven and earth gathered here, forming a huge multicolored vortex like a tornado in the sky. It was as thick as the golden air condensed into water. What a powerful heaven and earth. Is he really just in the nick of time? Yizi said in surprise. And after the black tooth was blown away, he, who was not injured, also saw the difference in the world, and his face changed greatly. No, this island is not that girl's, the one behind is hers. That man, I'm afraid he is also a strong mountain and sea, he is advancing to the sun and moon realm. Once he succeeds, the three of us will surely die. As soon as they heard sun moon realm, one-eyed and thin man turned pale with fright. The mountains and the sea and the sun and the moon, a big gap, even the new sun and moon, has the strength to kill the three of them. Good guy. The promotion of the myriad stone realm was mistaken for the sun and moon realm, and it was only because the anomaly was too terrifying. The three had never seen such a grand anomaly. This misunderstanding naturally arises. When Black Fang said this, the one-eyed and the thin man burst out with all their power at the same time. This man must die. Boom boom boom. The three mountains and seas joined forces to kill. When Yizi heard their conversation, she was already terrified and desperate. She couldn't bear one mountain and sea, let alone three mountains and seas. Chu Feng will also be smashed to pieces by their palms. Chu Feng can't die. Never die. Chu Feng, you wake up. Yizi's roar was useless, seeing that the three mountains and seas were about to kill. Yizi gritted her teeth. Simply grab Chu Feng on his back and jump into the sea with him on his back. Since you can't live on the island, you can survive from the dead. Puff. Yizi and Chu Feng fell into the water and instantly disappeared into the depths of the pitch-black sea. The attack of the three black teeth failed, and the three fell to Chu Feng's island. One-eyed said, "Boss, aren't we chasing them? If they leave alive, there will be big problems." Ha ha. Black Fang sneered, chasing. The sea is full of sun and moon beasts, are you going to chase? One-eyed instantly understood. The boss is still wise. They will die if they enter the water, so let's save our hands. The thin man's greedy eyes wandered on Chu Feng's island. He felt that the island was built so beautifully. Boss, this island is so beautiful. Especially the phoenix tree. How much speeding agent did it take to grow so big? That man is really rich. Ha ha, Heya sneered, you have no eyesight, you see the phoenix tree, don't you see the golden apple tree behind it? Only then did the one-eyed and the thin man discover the golden apple tree. What a big golden apple tree. Get rich, really get rich. The golden apple is an excellent treasure for enhancing cultivation. There is a mature golden apple tree planted on this mere second-level island. One-eyed and thin man hurriedly ran over greedily. Black Fang sneered and looked at the backs of the two. Stupid. There are more than golden apple trees on this Zhao's island. He clearly smelled a strong heaven and earth rhyme. The reason why Heya can become the boss, of course, is that he is ruthless, as well as his extraordinary experience and vision. There are definitely other treasures on this island. He strode inside, and the thin man and the one-eyed dragon couldn't wait to fly over to pick apples, but heard Black Fang exclaimed. Bluegrass beyond. What? One-eyed and thin man were taken aback, and before they even had time to pick the apple, they hurriedly fell from the air. It can exude the rhythm of heaven and earth, and help people to understand the divine grass of heaven and earth, the other side of bluegrass. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. The light of extreme greed erupted in the eyes of the three people, and the three people who were in harmony just now suddenly burst out the power of terror. The power shook the golden apple tree and the wooden house on the side to burst. There is only one bluegrass on the other side. Whoever gets it is whoever gets it. Big brother, you are already a 7th level mountain and sea cultivation base, why do you have to fight with us? The battle between the three was about to break out, and the black tooth that was originally on the top was attacked by the one-eyed and the thin man. The two palms attacked fiercely, and Black Fang could only avoid one palm, but he was beaten by the thin man and vomited blood directly, and a big hole was sunken in his chest. Even the internal organs were smashed to pieces. However, the mountain and sea realm powerhouse recovered quickly. His body recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye, and Black Fang's eyes became extremely bloodthirsty. Well, you two guys who eat inside and out, am I not treating you well? You actually joined hands to deal with me. One-eyed sneered. If it wasn't to save you, would my eyes be blind? But what about you? Didn't you take that red ocean spar? Ah, speaking of this, Blacktooth also has something to say. That's what Lousy tried so hard to get back. You're only blind in one eye, why give it to you? One-eyed seemed to have heard some extremely ridiculous joke, and began to laugh wildly. This is to do some shameful deeds. These three colluded together, and the ending was long overdue. Yeezy probably wouldn't have thought that before she jumped into the sea, the three idiots started fighting because of the uneven distribution of the spoils. In sea water, Yeezy tore off the clothes, tied them together into a cloth strip, and tied Chufeng directly to her back. Underwater monsters are more terrifying than water. It can be said that Yeezy's decision is simply self-defeating. But if she doesn't, she won't survive. The sword in her hand was swung extremely hard. Almost every time she attacked, she was beaten 3 times, and within half a minute of entering the water, Yeezy felt that she was going to die. The water is full of monsters from the sun and moon realm. If it weren't for her purple light body protection, these sea monsters would be slightly afraid and would not come directly, but how could she survive in the herd of beasts? Just to see how long it can last. A beast attacked from behind. Yeezy was afraid that it would interrupt Chu Feng's promotion, turned around, and received the blow. Puff! A big mouthful of blood spurted out of her mouth, and in front of her, it could be said that blood was blurred. The intestines are attached to the tendons. Sejeb. Yeezy never thought that she would have such a miserable day. She is probably going to die. Tears were mixed in the scarlet sea water, and it was impossible to tell whether there was crying or not. Chu Feng. Yeezy murmured like a gossamer, unable to hold the sword in his hand, letting it be swept away by the waves. Yeezy's consciousness was completely dissipated. The purple light on her body gradually faded. The surrounding giant beasts, who were already eyeing them, swarmed around. "I won't let you die." Suddenly, Yi Zi's hazy consciousness burst out with the last bit of sadness. She had completely forgotten her safety. Only desperately want Chu Feng to survive. At least let him advance. In the future, he has a bright future. As for her, bang, something hit him, but Yi Zi obviously didn't feel hurt. Her slightly opened eyes vaguely saw a round thing, and the loud noises from her ears became more and more terrifying, as if countless thunders hit her ears. But she doesn't seem to have the chance to see it. Chu Feng, don't die. Live, Yi Zi murmured with her last weak voice. She felt a very pure golden light around her, but she didn't know what it was. Just as Yi Zi's chaotic thoughts were about to disappear, she suddenly heard a familiar voice. Just let me live, you don't. Yes, Chu Feng, Chu Feng. Yi Zi's scattered thoughts gathered, and suddenly something was poured into her mouth. Depend on what? Yi Zi frowned. Can you not be so rude? Did he think her mouth could be stuffed with a pulse? What the hell? Ah. Shit, it's like a healing potion. Yi Zi woke up suddenly. She felt her mind returning quickly, and at the same time her body recovered amazingly. She opened her eyes. Saw Chu Feng behind him. A shameless smile was on the face of this handsome guy who could be said to be indignant. Chu Feng, you finally woke up. Yi Zi spat out a mouthful of blood as soon as she spoke, but she didn't care about it. Come on. We use the teleportation scroll to tear those three guys apart. The teleportation scroll is 1-to-1, so Yi Zi couldn't take Chu Feng directly, because that would cause him to be torn apart by space cracks. Ha ha. Chu Feng sneered and covered Yi Zi's head with a big hand. Yi Zi only felt a warm warmth coming from the top of his head, and a feeling of peace of mind followed. Just listen to Chu Feng domineeringly say. What teleportation scrolls? I'll tear them apart. Boom. Chu Feng took her out of the water, and came out together, along with the chubby egg. What? It turned out that in the water just now, she was protecting them. While Yi Zi was startled, she also saw an even more surprising scene. His grandmothers, those three people actually had an infighting and a fight. Grass. Yi Zi's eyes widened, unable to believe it was such a scene. The fight over there was hard to separate, and the three black teeth in one eye, who were all severely injured, had no idea that Chu Feng and Yi Zi would be able to come back alive. You are still alive. Heya shouted in horror, and he realized that during their fight just now, the difference between heaven and earth had disappeared, indicating that this man had succeeded in the promotion. This man will never let them go. Kill him. After all, the three of them have worked together for many years, and although they fought to the death just now, they are extremely united at the moment, and together they attacked Chu Feng and Yi Zi in the air. They have to take advantage of Chu Feng's unstable realm and use thunder methods to completely obliterate him. Ha ha. A faint voice came from Chu Feng's throat. It gave Yi Zi an incomparable sense of peace of mind. Although she knew that Chu Feng only had the first level of myriad stones, but inexplicably, she felt that Chu Feng could easily kill these three guys. Feel, what the hell? Disdain flashed in the hearts of He Feng and One Eye, and then, they were surprised to find that Chu Feng disappeared in front of them. Did he escape? The three of them were in shock when suddenly, there was a blood hole in Black Fang's body. Ah, what's the matter? Who did it? Before Black Fang could figure out what was going on, the one-eyed and thin man behind him set himself on fire. Ah. One-eyed and thin man cried out in pain. They didn't see anyone shot. What about that man? Where did it go? This scene only happens in 1 second. However, in Chu Feng's eyes, what happened was completely different. Because, when Chu Feng called out the word domain, he found that the whole world had entered a state of almost prohibition. Although it was not completely banned, the movements of the three Black Fang were slower than a snail in Chu Feng's eyes. Chu Feng rushed to the front of Black Fang. Get out a skill book. Learn, undefeated Buddha finger. Boom boom boom. Huge information penetrated into Chu Feng's mind, making his eyes flash with a sharp Buddha light. Hey. Chu Feng instantly understood this set of skills. Moment. Chu Feng's right hand turned into a sword fight. Break. Give me a blast. With the movement of his fingers, thousands of Buddha lights overflowed from his fingertips, forming a terrifying sword energy. Just the blink of an eye. On Black Fang's chest, a huge hole that was difficult to heal burst out. He is in the mountains and seas. The body of Shanhaijing was actually exploded by Chu Feng. Even the one-eyed full-strength palm just now only shattered Black Teeth's internal organs. One can imagine how terrifying the power of this undefeated Buddha finger is. Chu Feng is only in the realm of 10,000 stones. You can use the undefeated Buddha's finger to stab and explode the mountains and seas, then when Chu Feng steps into the sky, into the clouds, into the mountains and seas. Ha 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 ha. It is indeed a skill extracted from the eternal beast, ha 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 ha. It is simply invincible. Invincible Buddha finger. Invincible. Hey, what an arrogant skill name. Boom. The burning eye. Trident. Chu Feng exerted two talents at the same time, and summoned the trident. One-eyed and the thin man suddenly rose red flames. But the three of them looked like wooden men. Almost motionless, there is no way to resist. Ha 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 ha. Because, this is the field. Chu Feng's field. Within the realm, time is close to prohibition, only Chu Feng can move freely, and everyone else is sanctioned. In Chu Feng's domain, only he is invincible. Thunderbolt. Hack me. Boom. The trident sent out 3 lightning bolts, which banged on the heads of the 3 black teeth. It's a pity that the trident is a divine weapon, but Chu Feng's realm is too low, and he can't always exert its full power. These 3 lightning bolts actually only split their brains out, not to death. Oh, have to come again. Continue to hack for me. Hack. Boom, boom, boom. One after another, thunder and lightning hit their heads, ha 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 ha. The ice blue thunder flower still flashed a beautiful pattern in the air. Together with the cracked brains and skull slag of the 3 of them, a beautiful picture of red and blue is formed, which is extremely beautiful. With a bloodthirsty smile, Chu Feng put one hand on He Ya's headless, but still standing corpse. Extract. Successful extraction. You have obtained A-level talent. Shock. Successful extraction. You have obtained A-level talent. Steel legs. Successful extraction. You have obtained a B-level talent. Sense of smell. The 3 talents have been extracted. Shock and awe. It can simulate the burst of power coercion 1 level higher than yourself, and the effect is similar. Burst the coercion of a higher order. This talent, barely. Steel legs, meaning that the legs are very hard, this is not bad. With the corresponding skills, it should be able to play a very powerful role, which is regarded as a combat talent. Smell. Can smell unusual breaths. Unexpectedly, the talent level of the black tooth is the lowest, but also the most powerful. If Chu Feng guessed right, this olfactory talent may be similar to Yi Zi's talent, but not as powerful as Yi Zi's. This may also be one of the reasons why these 3 pirates can get into the mountains and seas. Their boss, Black Fang, can find treasures or other things with his talent. Katakana middle dot 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 asterisk. Hee, that's kind of interesting. Isn't this a gift to Chu Feng for nothing? Check the island owner's attributes. Island owner, Chu Feng. Race, Inhuman 57 100ths. Cultivation, 10,000 stones first layer in the air. Talents. Super Extraction SSS Inflated SS Damage Reduction SS Searing Eye S Stun A Steel Legs A Sweat the Sun A Smell B Iron Palm B Perception D Clairvoyance E. Skills. Fission Beheading. Song of the Siren. Invincible Buddha Fingers. Combat Evaluation. 18 stars. Attributes. Bones plus 1000, Speed plus 1000, Auto Healing plus 50, Sacredness plus 11, Poison plus 20, Poison Resistance plus 1, Fire Resistance plus 1, Intelligence plus 1. The .0 combat power evaluation has actually increased by 3 stars. Chu Feng has no doubts, this is definitely the credit of the invincible Buddha finger. The talent of the 2AB is not so strong. The realm can't hold it anymore. Chu Feng turned to look at Yi Zi behind him. This dead girl is staring at her with a terrified look on her face. She is probably frightened by the death of the 3 of Black Fang. Hee. Chu Feng walked in front of her and lowered his head. It looks good. When Chu Feng was an otaku, he also fantasized about having the superpower of stagnant time one day, and then going to hang out in the women's bath, the bathroom, the changing room, etc. He admitted that he had no lower limit and was shameless, but a man If you don't have this hobby, would you still be called a man? Huh. For the sake of your doing your best to protect me just now, this handsome guy will give you a sweet treat. Suck. After one incense, the power of the domain can no longer be supported. Chu Feng's face was extremely pale. He spat out a mouthful of blood. A dark blue uniform dyed with leaf purple. Fall hard from the sky. Ah, Chu Feng. Yi slammed into Chu Feng, who had disappeared just now, but now suddenly appeared and looked like he would die immediately. Although I feel that the lips are a bit strange, Chu Feng seems to be dying. You can't die. Chu Feng, you can't die. Wu, Chu Feng. The two people in the air fell sharply, and Yi's injuries only recovered half, but in order not to let Chu Feng, who was already dying, fall to his death completely. Just think of yourself as a meat pad. Quote exclamation mark. Yi spat out a large mouthful of blood, and severe pain came from behind her body. Chu Feng looked very thin. How could she be so solid? She was almost flattened. Hey. Chu Feng, wake up. Are you okay? Despite complaining in her heart, Yi quickly turned over to check Chu Feng's situation. Yi was so frightened that she cried. Chu Feng's face was as white as an albino pig's liver. Not to mention no blood, the transparent skin almost reflected blood vessels. Like a hatching raw egg. Terrible, how could this be? She hurriedly filled Chu Feng with the healing potion she carried with her, and several bottles of 740s went down, which seemed to have no effect at all. As if Chu Feng was already dead. Chu Feng, woohoo. Yi burst into tears. What if Chu Feng dies? The beast horde is getting more and more terrifying. Is she going to leave Chu Feng and escape alone? No, do not want. Chu Feng, don't die, wake up soon woo-woo. Please, can you come back to life? Woo-woo. Yi has never been so afraid of losing someone. She even prayed in her heart to give half of her life to Chu Feng. She's already very generous. If it were someone else, it wouldn't matter if he died or not. But if that's not enough, then more than half, 90%. 95%, even 99% can be. Because she still wants to live for a while, at least wait for Chu Feng to wake up. Chu Feng woo-woo. Noisy. Chu Feng, you are awake. You are not dead. Yi was startled, and her eyes lit up immediately. Because she was too excited, her eyes stared like copper bells. Chu Feng pouted, it's ugly. Woo, Chu Feng, great, you really didn't die. Yi felt that her prayer just now took effect. If Chu Feng did not die, it meant that she was going to die. There is a spirit in the sky, Chu Feng is fine. It is to pity her Yi's talent, but she died young, woo-woo-woo, so miserable, so miserable. Yi cried even harder. Chu Feng didn't know that Yi's brain was thinking about things that had no scientific basis, because he felt that this moment was a great opportunity to take advantage. It's not cheap, you. It hurts so much, I'm going to die. Chu Feng was miserable, pitiful, and spit out another mouthful of blood. Ah, Chu Feng, you can't die. When she died, she sacrificed in vain. Hey, Chu Feng sighed, it's pity that I am a Chu man until I die, and I don't even know what it's like to be a woman. What, you said about playing games with Mylan before. Can you talk about this? Yi whimpered and didn't react. Me too, woo-woo-woo, I don't even have a boyfriend woo-woo. Suddenly reacted. Yi almost didn't jump up and slap Chu Feng. You, Chu Feng said aggrieved, I'm about to die, you still scold me if you don't comfort me. It's a shame that I used all my strength to save you, hey, ruthless woman. Human. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Although he really wanted to refute, what Chu Feng said was right. Those 3 mountains and seas could really crush her with one palm. Yi cried again, then what to do? Woohoo, I'm going to die too woohoo. Won't it be cheap for me? You die too. Chu Feng shook his shoulders pitifully, ah, it hurts. Where does it hurt? Yi hurriedly rubbed him, and suddenly found that Chu Feng was holding back a shameless smirk, and Yi became angry again. It's all this time, you're not serious, you. You're dead. If I had known, I wouldn't have saved you. Chu Feng smiled and took out a teleportation scroll. Yi's eyes lit up, can you do it? You were injured so badly. Need a little strength to cheer up. Yi certainly knew what he meant by power, what a shameless bad guy. Although Yi definitely didn't want to do that, but she didn't know how Chu Feng became so important in this short time together. Maybe it's just because he's handsome. Yi just covets this guy's face, that's all. If you have to say it, she is definitely the one who takes advantage. Maybe there are thousands of beauties who are particularly envious and jealous of her. So comforting himself, Yi lowered his head slightly and left quickly like a dragonfly. Who knew that Chu Feng, a fool, actually held her head? Smelly shameless. Smelly he actually still snapped. 5 minutes later, Chu Feng put on a hot face, pulled the corner of his mouth and revealed a sinister smile. Let's go. The two smashed the teleportation scroll together and quickly left this place of right and wrong. The two islands disappeared instantly. The teleportation scroll is a kind of space distortion and compression, which puts a lot of pressure on the spirit of the teleporter. Normal people can't stand a lot of teleportation in a short period of time, not to mention Chu Feng and Yi were seriously injured. Especially Chu Feng. He is only a strong support. If they don't leave the 102 area, the ending will be death. After using more than a dozen scrolls in a row, they were still some distance away from Area 101, but Chu Feng and Yi were already pale. Not to mention sitting, the two of them are now completely lying down, and they don't even have the strength to crush the scroll. The high-load teleportation caused Yi's mental C to suffer severe pain, and no amount of healing potion he swallowed would help. Chu Feng. This time she thought she was really going to die. Don't be afraid. Chu Feng pressed her head on her shoulder. Yi felt very at ease. She had never felt so at ease. If she died, it would be considered a happy death. Before her death, she recalled all kinds of past events, especially those female classmates who were jealous of her and often tripped her up. She imagined, when the time came, I took Chu Feng back to school and said in front of them, "This is my boyfriend, isn't he particularly handsome, talented, and amazing? Ya ha 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 ha, I envy you, ha 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 ha. If only there was such a day." Yi thought so before crushing the last scroll. Swish. 2 islands, entering the edge of Area 101. After leaving 102, I found that the sky outside was very dazzling. The sky was white, the sea was blue, and everything was so peaceful. Long, Eggy, protect the island. Chu Feng hugged the person who had completely fainted in his arms, and after dropping these words, he couldn't hold back anymore and fainted. Looking up, 2 bloody people were lying on the soft warm yellow sand. One snuggles up to the other. Such a beautiful scene of gothic blood and roses. The dragon girl was injured before, but she was cured by eating the herbs in the spiritual field. After the 2 daughters got the order, they did not dare to move Chu Feng casually, fearing that his injury would be aggravated, so they had to guard Chu Feng all the time. The 2 guys who used to fight all the time were especially harmonious this time. The dragon girl couldn't help crying quietly. She felt that she was too weak to protect Chu Feng, causing him to be hurt so badly. Eggy said, "Don't cry, Master will be fine." Dragon girl. Ghost knows what you're talking about, I'm not Egg. Women know how to cry. Humph, you're too weak, you're not as pretty as me, a panda is so small, yet so weak, tisk tisk tisk. Dragon girl. Do you think if I eat Lingtian too, will I become stronger? Eggy said ruthlessly, your physique can't eat it, you are not an egg, I just absorb energy. You will die if you eat it. Dragon girl. I'm going to take medicine. I want to become stronger. Eggy. Did you listen to me? Dragon girl. Really? My idea is great, right? Then I'll go. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Real. Chat across servers. After Yi's superiors received the request for help, they immediately sent people to the coordinates for search and rescue. It's a pity that only 3 unoccupied islands were found when we arrived. Judging from the situation on the island, the masters are at least above the Lingyun realm and below the Sun and Moon realm. Although there is no trace of human fighting at the scene, they speculate that Yi may be more fortunate. But Yi should have escaped. It may be normal that I can't contact her now, so go back first. The other side. It has been nearly 8 hours since the copy of Tiandao Chance appeared. According to the chance 46 years ago, the token winner will be randomly sent within 12 hours. That is, if there is a token on the body, it will be transmitted. However, at this moment, I can't contact Chu Feng at all. Not only Zhou Gang was worried, but Duan Sheng and Feng Yi were also in a cold sweat. I heard that after they left the mission, Yizi's superiors had received a distress message. It is speculated that the two should be fine, but they can't get in touch. Duan Sheng, just say it. How are you going to explain? Huh. Not to mention Feng Yi's anger, even Duan Sheng's head was completely enlarged. Their preliminary judgment was that Yizi and Chu Feng flashed at the same time as the three pirates between the teleportation gaps. As soon as the two sides appeared, the pirates moved first. This is rare, but not uncommon. This time Duan Sheng had no confidence in his words. As an iron-blooded general, he had always had a straight back, but he actually had a hunched look. I will take responsibility. Responsible, you're in charge. Are you in charge? With your face, you are sent to Western Europe to be a duck. No one will call you. You're still in charge, you're in charge. Grass, do you want to be so ruthless? With his figure, being a duck is definitely a good thing for a lot of people. Wrong, be a fart. Feng Yi took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. After a long time, he said solemnly, I'm looking for someone here to see. They should still be alive, but the breath of life is very weak. Ah, there are so many talents in the base. Duan Sheng was amazed and relieved. Before he could speak, he heard Feng Yi say, based on their physical condition, I'm afraid they are not suitable to enter the Dungeon of Heaven's Dao Chance, and the follow-up missions have been cancelled. What? Duan Sheng was shocked. The Dungeon of Heaven's Dao Chance came out so timely this time. Although Duan Sheng didn't know what the content of the quest was, it was by no means a simple cancel to end it. How many people's hard work and blood are behind it? President Feng, don't persuade me, do you want them to die? Duan Sheng immediately shut up. In fact, they all know that it is not who is at fault, because this task can only be completed with the cooperation of Yizi and Chu Feng. Feng Yi just needs a vent. Even without Duan Sheng Jihu, the task will still fall to Chu. On Feng. Really, cancelled. Duan Sheng still couldn't believe it. Just wait another 10 years. Feng Yi sighed. Yizi and Chu Feng's talents are very important, and they are definitely not objects that can be sacrificed at will. In order to ensure their safety, they even have to give these two top-level protection. To avoid, similar to this case, Duan Sheng, give them some compensation. Feng Yi ordered. Duan Sheng didn't dare to refute this time. He knew that with the character of a young man, even if he was seriously injured, he still wanted to go to a place with great opportunities. Therefore, if wanted to convince Chu Feng and Yizi, he had to compensate for something he could afford. Because they can't die, the base needs them, and the people of China need them too. It is good. I don't know how long I slept, but it was already dark when I woke up. The fireflies are flying all over the sky, like the stars falling into the dust. Stepping on the galaxy, taking the stars as the quilt, the scene is gorgeous and romantic to death. Chu Feng shook his head slightly, because the warm breath from his shoulders actually made him feel like he was going out on a date with his wife, lying on the beach and watching the stars, but accidentally fell asleep. Well, the man in his arms murmured, and Chu Feng lowered his head, only to realize that this girl's face was as white as a dead person. Wipe. He has automatic healing and damage reduction, but Yizi probably doesn't. The healing potion on his body has long been used up, so he has to heal this girl. Long, prepare for alchemy. Chu Feng quickly carried Yizi into the wooden house. It's just that when he saw his neat bed, he looked at Yizi, whose clothes were dirty and bloody. Well, anyway, it's not too late to die. He is a person with a clean addiction. Well, there really is a cleanliness addiction. No lie, not only cleanliness addiction, but also obsessive-compulsive disorder. Of course, you have to change your dirty clothes, and you can't go to bed with dirty clothes on. Isn't this common sense? Change clothes slowly first. If there is a wound on your body, although you cannot take a bath, wipe it off with a warm towel first. You have to clean up before you can sleep. Is this common sense? That's right. After all, wiping is not as quick as taking a bath directly, so do things carefully and don't let go of any corners. Be careful, be careful. Be careful, be subtle. After finishing it, Chu Feng found that there seemed to be no suitable clean clothes for her to put on. Then just wash it off and lie down. There's nothing wrong with it, right? At least logically, it's perfect. Chu Feng, who showed a shameful smile that he would never admit, helped Easy cover up the quilt, and then walked to the lawn in a hurry, contented, very satisfied, and extremely relaxed. Start alchemy. Tiantian Snow Lotus Dan. Tiantian Snow Lotus 1, Shengxian Sao 5, Millennium Snow Silkworm 5, Shenji 10, Tianxianzi 10, Phoenix Flower 3. The refining method of Tiantian Snow Lotus pill is also more complicated, and Chu Feng's current mental state and physical state are not very good. It is estimated that a good quality medicinal pill cannot be refined. He only has 3 Tiantian Yukon fruits. In order to avoid waste, he will only practice 1 pot for the time being. After quickly planting and ripening the herbs obtained before, Chu Feng sorted out a set of materials and took out the alchemy furnace. Refining. Boom. The dragon girl started breathing fire. Chu Feng frowned. Long, why has the color of your flames darkened? The temperature is higher than before, and it is not as mild as before. Isn't this double the difficulty? Forehead. The dragon girl said with shame. I ate a little fire attribute herb. Wipe. The temperature is lower, and the fire is smaller. Aha! The dragon girl adjusted the small flame as instructed, but Chu Feng felt that although the fire was not as gentle as before, the energy contained in it was much stronger than before. The little dragon girl actually dared to eat herbs indiscriminately. Pick her up later. Start putting herbs. Chu Feng's spirit is much more concentrated than all previous alchemy. Because this time Long Yan was more tyrannical, he had to be more cautious. But the situation is a bit unexpected. Because Long Yan seems to be tyrannical, but it is faster to extract the essence of the herbs, and the purity is higher. Hiss. Surprise joy. Drop the herbs again. Practice for me again. Boom boom. The flames keep burning. Chu Feng soon sweated profusely, and the last medicine, Tiantian Yukon, was also put into it. Chu Feng's spirit is highly concentrated. This is the most important step and must not fail. Boom. The alchemy furnace made a roar. Suddenly, the lid of the furnace flew up, and 3 snow-white medicinal herbs shot out. Chu Feng jumped to catch it. Successful refining of Tiantian Snow Lotus pill. Appraisal. 4th grade pills. 4. What the hell? There are actually 4 grades. You must know that his condition this time is much worse than that of every previous alchemy refinement, and he was able to refine the 4th grade in a bloody way. Then when he returns to the state of the province, how many grades will he get? It's outrageous. Chu Feng looked ecstatic. 4th grade medicinal herbs, the attribute is 500-1000. A pharmacist who can stably refine 4th grade medicinal herbs can be regarded as a big medicine teacher. Take a Tiantian Snow Lotus pill first. Pills into the abdomen. Chu Feng immediately felt the earth-shaking healing power running through his whole body, the moisturizing power, as if he had been reborn. When he advanced to Wanxi before, Chu Feng's meridians were injured a lot by the skyrocketing power. Although after advancing to Wanxi, most of his injuries have recovered. But after using the domain, killing 1,000 enemies and losing 2,000, if it weren't for the talent bonus and his good casting foundation. It is absolutely impossible for Chu Feng to use the teleportation scroll after using the field. Now taking this Tiantian Snow Lotus pill, Chu Feng's auto-healing ability has grown terribly, not to mention, visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, Chu Feng's complexion returned to normal. The dark wounds in his body, the damage to the meridians, also instantly recovered as before. Take Tiantian Snow Lotus Dan, automatic healing plus 895. I go. 4th grade medicinal herbs, that is, take it. And the quality is good, with 500 approximately 1000 attribute points, 895 points are made, which belongs to the top grade in the 4th grade. It's almost full. I don't know which one is stronger than the undead body. Check the island owner's attributes. Island owner. Chu Feng. 57 100ths. Cultivation. 10,000 stones first layer in the air. Talent. Skills. Fission beheading. Song of the Siren. Invincible Buddha fingers. Combat evaluation. 18 stars. Attributes. Bones plus 1000, speed plus 1000, auto healing plus 945, sacredness plus 11, poison plus 20, poison resistance plus 1, fire resistance plus 1, intelligence plus 1. It's a pity that the evaluation of combat power has not increased. It is estimated that the star is too high, and the growth needs to be improved. Automatic healing reaches 945, which is close to full point, very good. Unfortunately, this should be the limit. The Tiantian Snow Lotus pill is more precious, and it is too wasteful to take one more. Chu Feng shook his head regretfully. After collecting the pill stove, he put one Tiantian Snow Lotus pill away, and walked towards the wooden house with the other in his hand. It's just. Chu Feng was suddenly taken aback. He realized one thing. Jiao is good. The attributes of the 4th grade medicinal herbs are 500 to 1000, so the 3rd grade and 2nd grade pills are not more than 1000 points. I see. As long as you can refine the 3rd grade medicine pill, you can break through the attribute point limit and get more than 1000 attributes. It's no wonder that the 4th grade medicinal herbs are only the great pharmacist, and the 3rd grade and above are called the masters of refining medicine. It turns out that this is the reason. This amazing fact really shocked Chu Feng. What kind of qualitative changes will happen to attributes with more than 1000 points? His speed is already outrageous. If the speed exceeds 1000, what will happen? What if the auto heal also exceeds 1000? Grass. Strong. This is too strong. Now that he has returned to his heyday, can he refine the 3rd grade medicine pill? Must try. Go save Yizi first, and try it later. Chu Feng walked towards the wooden house excitedly. Yizi's breath in the house was extremely weak, and she was still in a coma. The snow-white quilt covered her body, which was not as pale as her pale face. The vermilion lips were bloodless at the moment, and the delicate Luyi eyebrows were deeply wrinkled, as if they were having a nightmare. She remembered that in order to save herself, she did not hesitate to jump into a sea full of monsters, and even used her body as a meat shield to help him carry the damage. Does she know how powerful Chu Feng's body is? Don't know how slender her body is. Pretty is pretty, but also stupid enough. In this silly way. Chu Feng lifted her head gently, the soft quilt slipped, and Chu Feng coughed. He is in his prime, hey. He is not a gentleman, hey. On the contrary, he absolutely admitted that he is a super shameless, super limitless. Very handsome hooligan. Ha ha. After making it bad. Chu Feng fed the elixir into Yizi's mouth. After the medicinal pill entered the abdomen, Yizi's face instantly returned to its normal state, with the faint blush of a normal person, slender and steady breathing, and warm, red lips and lips. Why aren't you awake yet? Does it hurt so badly? Chu Feng was a little anxious, so he pulled Yizi's hand out to check the pulse. He was not a doctor. But it should be all right. She might be too tired and fell asleep. Relieved. It's just that slender arm that is crystal clear, like the clean dewdrops on the snow-white peony in the early morning. I'm afraid it won't be safe to go back. Chu Feng did the trick again. 10 minutes later, even though Yi was still full of beards and tails, would she be able to hack Chu Feng to death with a sword after she woke up? Then it depends on how Chu Feng plays. He hurried back to the lawn. Chu Feng couldn't wait, and wanted to test whether he could refine the 3rd grade medicine pill. Mandodin. Mondo Fruit 1, Flowers 5, Blood Slaughter 10, Magic Heart Grass 10. Magnolia. Magnolia Fruit 1, Qianrahong 10, Evergreen 5, Elephant Flower 10, Kiluoteng 3, Lingxiang 3. Mandolin increases blood toxicity. Mulan Dan increases muscles and bones. Just like Segudin increases bones, it is an elixir that enhances physical toughness and strength. He can also refine the Tiantian Snow Lotus, but the material is too precious. He has no grasp of the 3rd grade ability, and of course he will not use it to practice. There are 22 servings of mango fruit and 10 servings of magnolia fruit. Make the mandala first. Long, fire. Boom. Long Yan is back. Chu Feng put all his energy into refining the mandala. Mantuo Dan is simpler than Tiantian Snow Lotus Dan, but what Chu Feng wants to refine is 3-grade Dan, so he is more cautious than before. Input material. Refine. Keep refining. Extract the essence. Fusion medicinal properties. Slowly and slowly, just wait for it to take shape. Boom. The furnace cover flew out. Successful refining of mandolin. Appraisal. 4th grade. Wipe. 4. When Chu Feng got the 3 black pills, his face turned black. He clearly felt that the refining was good just now. Why is it only rank 4? Nope. Try again. Long, come again. Boom, boom. 4 furnaces in a row, all 4 grades. Chu Feng had no choice but to try Mulan Dan again, but after only one furnace, it was still rank 4. At this time, he felt that it was not a method, but a pure lack of ability. His experience of alchemy seems to be separated by a layer of shackles, so that he has never been able to break through the 3rd rank realm. It seems that I have hit a bottleneck. Maybe my alchemy foundation must have some kind of breakthrough in order to reach the 3rd grade, otherwise there will be no special pharmacists and alchemists. My experience in alchemy is really lacking. So far, I have only made dozens of furnaces. In terms of time, it's not even more than a week. Wipe. Chu Feng suddenly felt that his own talent in alchemy was quite defying the sky. This is the 4th grade. Forget it, take your time. Take 2 mandolins. Take 2 magnolia pills. Because these 2 medicinal materials are sufficient, Chu Feng is not afraid of waste. You took Cejeb mandolin, toxicity plus 915. You took Mulan Dan, bones and muscles plus 931. These 2 medicinal pills almost reached the peak of the 4th rank, but unfortunately they did not break through to the 3rd rank. Although he took 2 pills and wasted more than 900 attributes, Chu Feng raised both attributes to a full point of 1000. After eating the mandala, there is nothing special. But Chu Feng knew that a drop of his blood could at least poison a Lingyun realm. Ha ha, that's how it's full of attributes. Whoever fights with him in the future, don't let him get hurt, ha 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 ha. As for Magnolia, after taking it, the body flashed a sharp pain. This is his bones changing. Although the pain is unbearable, it is worth it. Do Da's sweat continued to rage, and after a full quarter of an hour, Chu Feng's complexion returned to normal. It's getting late. There is still 1 hour left before the transmission time of the copy of Tiandao Chance. Chu Feng, only then did I have time to take out my phone and check the messages in the endless system. There were several anonymous calls on the phone, but he didn't answer them. In the endless system, the first is Duan Sheng's condolences. Well, there are a lot of things sent by Duan Sheng. Chu Feng glanced at Duan Sheng's message and knew why he sent so many things to himself. Duan Sheng, hidden. Chu Feng, although you may not accept my proposal, you have been seriously injured, and the Dungeon of Heaven's Dao Chance is too dangerous, it is no longer suitable for you. Duan Sheng, hidden. Chance is important, but fate is more important, what do you think? Duan Sheng, hidden. If you stay in the Green Mountains, you are not afraid of running out of firewood. You are also a person who has received compulsory education since you were a child. I believe you can understand this truth. Duan Sheng, hidden. Although I missed the chance copy of the Heavenly Dao this time, we will compensate you here. You can take care of these things. I don't mean anything else, we just hope that you value your life more. Duan Sheng, hidden. After all, only by living can we create greater value. Chu Feng looked at what he sent. The original 6-level energy storage stone 6, my dear, is a big deal. The 3 red ocean spar later are precious, but for Chu Feng. There are also 5 bottles of super strengthening potions and 3 bottles of super healing potions. Not bad at all. 1 blue moonstone, 5 sky feather fruit, 1 baiyao fruit, 5 special runestones, and 1 fire trial order. Moonstone is still barely. Both fruits are also okay. He still has 1 for the fire trial, which may be precious to others, but to Chu Feng. Might as well get some more energy storage stones. Chu Feng received everything, but did not reply. Because. The gift can be withdrawn. Yi should also have compensation, right? Hee. Anyway, I have to accept the gift before rejecting it. After reading Duan Sheng's information, then Zhou Gang's information. Zhou Gang, where are you, boss? There are only a few hours left for the copy of Heaven's Path. Zhou Gang, at present, the members of the association are full, and all the tokens have been sold. I found that some people seem to expect the association to survive for a long time. Boss, should we consider a long-term one? Zhou Gang, Aya Group and Fatang Group are both contacting me and wanting me to join their company, but I have refused. If the boss opens a company, I will go to the boss's company. Zhou Gang, we can also directly convert the association into a company, and follow the example of the Aya Group to formulate a strict ranking strategy and exchange strategy. I studied it, and it should be able to make a lot of money. Zhou Gang, where are you, boss? Convert an association into a company. Chu Feng thought about it before. In fact, before he woke up, he did have the idea of starting a company. At that time, I thought that my talent was not good, but I could make resources for myself by relying on my brain. Later, because the talent was too strong, the idea was given up. Chu Feng will spend a lot of time in the sea, and he has no spare time to start a company. But if Zhou was authorized to do it. Chu Feng, what do you think about the company? Zhou Gang, boss, you are back. Scared me to death, I thought you had an accident. I do have a plan for the company, I will send it to you. Chu Feng quickly received the proposal from Zhou Gang. Although relatively simple, but Zhou Gang does have this talent. Very good. He happened to leave this matter to Zhou Gang. If Zhou Gang had the ability to do things, Chu Feng would be able to make money, and at the same time he would spend a lot of time on cultivation and on the island. Chu Feng, follow your plan. Zhou Gang, really, boss, I'm actually a little false. I'm afraid that I can't do it well. If you lose money, it will be bad. Chu Feng, it's okay, I'm taking care of it. When Zhou Gang saw this sentence, his heart suddenly warmed. The boss really trusts him. This makes him feel that his life is brighter, and a thing called faith grows in his heart. Zhou Gang, good, I will do my best. We must first build a warehouse and establish an effective exchange standard. Do you have enough resources, boss? Soon, Chu Feng established a warehouse with an anonymous identity. To transform an association into a company, first of all, the association must have stable personnel, form a stable process, and retain personnel through abundant warehouses. This requires the establishment of an exchange mechanism and a contribution system. Association members donate items, get contributions, and then use the contributions to exchange things from the warehouse, just like the guild in the game. Now, enrich the warehouse first. Among the 110 treasure chests that Chu Feng opened before, there are a lot of basic materials, runes, spar, scrolls, etc. According to the relatively constant exchange table in the current market, Chu Feng contributed 100,000 energy, 2,000 each of the 5 basic materials, 200 red clay, and 100 each of the 5 advanced materials. Strengthening potion 100, accelerating potion 100, white ocean crystal 300, blue ocean crystal 100, orange ocean crystal 10, 5 runestones 30 each, teleport scroll 50, storm scroll 1, blizzard scroll 1, frozen scroll 1, lightning scroll 1, battle termination ticket 50. These are the most basic and currently the most scarce things. A total of hundreds of thousands of contribution points have been obtained. But these association contribution points are useless to Chu Feng, because he is the president himself. There are 2 ways for members of the association to obtain contribution points, 1 is to contribute, 2 is to participate in the task to obtain contribution points from the chairman and vice chairman. Items contributed by members will not enter the warehouse directly, but enter the transfer station first. After being sorted out by the chairman, it will enter the warehouse. So Chu Feng can directly get donations from all members, he does not need to consume contribution points. Chu Feng set the donations as runestones, basic resources, advanced resources, fruits, herbs, blueprints, scrolls, and others. In this way, without appearing abrupt, it also perfectly solves the problem that Chu Feng wants to collect fruits and herbs. The warehouse construction is successful. Zhou Gang didn't know about this yet, because he was informing those members separately about the warehouse established by the association. So when he came back and saw the chat log, everyone was stupid. 10 orange ocean spar, is this serious? Can you change it as long as you contribute enough? 100 silver nuggets, 100 gold nuggets, and 200 red clay. These are super scarce resources. Oh, these are all placed by the president. Sao 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 sao, Chairman Niu beep, Chu Da Shen Niu beep. Shit, frozen scroll, oh my god, teleportation scroll, and the end of the battle ticket. I rely on it, a life-saving thing. 100,000 points of energy. Isn't the president not going to use it himself? There are so many directly into the warehouse, gone. My god, does the anonymous god still lack a wife? Don't be so stuck in gender. Zhou Gang, what the hell? Boss, the warehouse is full. Zhou Gang, 0.0 or those all released by an anonymous god. I go, is he so rich? Chu Feng, some I put, some he put, the rest is left to you, and the other members of the first level area are given to you to lead, so that they can level up quickly and enter the dungeon soon. Joe Gang. So it is. Joe Gang. Okay, I got it, I'll inform you right away. With these resources, our association's capabilities will be at least doubled. Joe Gang. Okay, hand over to me in level 1. All members will work together to minimize casualties. The establishment of the warehouse will also drive the stickiness among members. The status of the Dungeon of Heaven's Dao chance is still unknown, so it's always right to have more people. There are currently only level 1 islands and level 2 islands in the association. When the members heard that the level 2 area was led by Chu Feng, they were so excited. After all, being able to meet Chu Feng in person is the blessing of a lifetime. There was still more than half an hour before the opening of the Dungeon of Heaven's Dao chance, and at this moment, Chu Feng took out the exploding flame crystal. He wants to absorb the exploding flame crystal and increase the power of the searing eye. Sean, I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.